Hey guys, and welcome to a glorious tournament stream. It is once again the correct time, and just as I announce the stream, I hear a load of sirens outside my window, so someone is watching me, but hopefully they'll be gone in just a second. Hope you guys are all good today. I'm very excited to bring what is promising to be quite the fun scrap. Let me get the trailer out the way, and boop, you can now see the glorious lobby. I have scoured the galaxy, all 9 realms. I've looked under every dustbin, every rock, and floated to the highest skies to find the 4 greatest competitors the universe has ever discovered, and boy oh boy did I find them. We have 2 best of 3 semi-finals for you bad boys today. Intensity taking on Samurai Warrior in the first best of 3, and the second best of 3 we have the Juggernauts, which are Mr. Turin and Mr. Logic, going head to head to try to settle their feud from yesterday's live stream where they also went head to head. I'm sure both players will be looking to get some revenge, so awesome stuff. I'm very excited to delve into this, but this is a bit of an extra special stream to me today, as we are trying to support a cause which is very dear to my heart. So as the title would suggest, this is going to be a charity stream, and I will be linking a nice little link for you guys to donate to the charity if you would like. There is no pressure to, but if you'd normally support me on the channel and donate, do not donate to me today, please. Instead, donate to the charity. So a big family friend of mine who looked after me a lot when I was younger did unfortunately go through cancer last year, but was lucky enough and strong enough to be able to come back and actually make a full recovery. Now, a normal person in this situation will probably relax and not do too much, just try to get back and healthy again, but instead she's decided to run a half marathon whilst going through her recovery and try to raise money for Macmillan's cancer support charity, which is very, very noble and brave of her. And she's managed to raise a whopping 1,000, I think it's now £250 or something crazy. And her end goal was to make £1,500, and she's so close to that deadline. And I believe she is running the half marathon at the end of the month. So I thought, hey, I'm going to donate some money and thought, you know what? I can do a bit better than that. I'm going to host, the best players in the universe together to try and put on a bit of a spectacle and hopefully raise some money for them. So I do have some mods today. They will be putting a little link down there to where you can donate to the charity. You do not need to make an account or anything like that. You can donate, I think, via debit cards, PayPal. There's a load of different paying options there. If for whatever reason you can't find a way to pay via using that, just send it to me instead on PayPal with the charity written in bold, and I'll make sure that they get it. And you are feel free to leave a message to them. Now, they do not know I'm doing this stream yet. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise for them. So if you do me a favor, if you are going to donate today, please feel free just to leave the words quack underneath the donation. And that's it. And it's going to really confuse and boggle their mind. And hopefully they'll get a nice surprise when they wake up tomorrow morning and have a load of quacks randomly being sent to them. That's enough of that for now. We'll be speaking about that in a little bit more depth as we do go on. I've got some surprises as well from Creative Assembly, actually, believe it or not, to show off on live stream as well. But before then, let's get into the action. Hope you guys are ready and raring to go. It should be some good fun. Matthew Coffin says, "How are you, Ducky? How are you?" I'm all good, man. I'm incredibly tired. I haven't slept much, but I've got, a couple of days off this weekend, so I'm going to catch up on my sleep and be back as good as new. But I'm very good today. How are you guys? What's up, Professor Pone? Hope you're doing good, champ. Turin the goat for sure. Go Logic. Looks like I've got a lot of support from a lot of different people here, and we're going to delve straight into this first game. So it is Samurai Warrior with Kislev, our favorite bear lovers, taking on Intesti's Khorne, in which promises to be an absolute legendary scrap. And if you guys are looking, by the way, for the link for the donation is at the top of the description in the video. But I will be kind of posting it throughout the course of the whole stream and so forth. So where's Norska, Ducky? Unfortunately, no Norska yet into the game, but we have the closest physical Finn in the I've just noticed there's no Lord in Intesti's build. This is going to be absolutely wild, but there is no Norska today, unfortunately. Khorne are the closest representation we have to them, though the Kislevs can be rather barbaric and vicious themselves. We are on Broken Leg Gully. This is one of the more simplistic maps. It's very much 3 lanes. Both opponents have a home objective and then a contested objective in the middle to try to support, and I'm a big fan of Intesti's build here. One of his Soul Grinders is going to be replacing his Lord. Now, if that unit dies, he still will get the negative Lord penalty for Lord Death, but apart from that, it does mean you can go a little bit cheaper, a little bit wider, and this is quite a meaty starting army from Khorne. I definitely recognize Samurai Warrior's build. This is very competitive, very good stuff. I'm actually a bigger believer in Boris than I am of Constantine, but hey, each to their own, each to their own. Sleepers for the week, exactly. If I just run off pure adrenaline, we should be fine. So, apologies as well, my camera's going to be bouncing up and around a bit. My mic is slightly broken. For the forces of Anticity, taking a nice aggressive stance, we have double Soul Grinder of Khorne. So these bad boys actually do have a range attack, but it does come in the form of a precursor weapon, so you can't really aim it successfully. We have some Chaos Spawn just behind them, double Cultist of Khorne. This has become very popular in meta in general, to come in with the little summon. I mean, cultists in general for almost any demon faction seems very popular, but the Gate of Khorne, summon a unit of Bloodletters to the action. We also have a unit of Chaos Warriors of Khorne, so nice aggressive start from Anticity. I like it quite a bit. What does Samurai Warrior have to counter him? It is Bears for the Bear God, yes! We have double Light War Sleds making an aggressive charge. We have War Bear Riders backed up by their holy patron, who is spitting vows to the great Bear God Urson that he shall avenge all wrongdoings against bears in the universe. We also have a Frost Maiden of Ice supporting them, which is quite cool to see. And if we can catch her, we will be able to see what spells she's coming in with. Where are you going? No, let me catch you. There we are. She's coming in with the Ice Maiden's Kiss, the Crystal Sanctuary, which is a really nice 60% damage resistance, so it pins you, and the Heart of Winter, which is probably my favorite spell in the game. Devastating up against the forces of Nurgle in particular, I have found. Blood for the Blood God, let's go. And the War Slades sing a sweet tune of victory as they do start to dominate the middle of the map and push really aggressively. Anticity's like, no, peace out, guys. I'm not fighting that. I don't want the beef. So he's actually probably trying to drag the War Sleds towards his deployment zone so he can summon some quick troops, maybe some Flesh Hounds, get on top of them and counter them. So the Khorne initially not really wanting to take any fight, not really interested whatsoever, perhaps going to be rotating up and around towards Objective 3. Samurai being a lot more aggressive, Warbears, Frost Maiden, his Lord, all pushing towards the home objective of Anticity, which certainly isn't a bad idea. We also have some Armored Corsairs being summoned to capture Objective 1. War Sleds looking to get very aggressive. Now, we do see some Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds being summoned over to the Objective 3. Should be enough to push back the Warbear Riders, who do once again start to pull back a little bit to the safety of the middle. The Soul Grinders coming in with their precursor missiles do some decent damage to the Light War Sleds, but they are going to be taking some back as well, as those 360 no-scope shots from the Kislevites will start to add up quite considerably there. The Soul Grinders not looking super healthy, and now the Warriors of Khorne are getting a little bit aggressive. See, for the first 3 minutes, you don't have to push that much, but as soon as the objectives obviously become active, you are going to want to claim them. Now, if your opponent wants to sit back and not contest them at all, my main advice is just capture 1 or 2 objectives and start getting a nice dominant lead whilst getting your entire army out. The combat mechanic has been nerfed, I believe, in the recent patch, so it's not quite as deadly as it once was. Armored Corsairs are being summoned in once again, so a big old juicy meaty stack of infantry going to be moving in to Objective 2 to help contest where possible. War Sleds have been basically made useless so far. They've done some okay damage to the Soul Grinder, but not been at their usual selves where they simply run over infantry all game long. It does seem like the Chaos Warriors of Khorne going to be pushing up towards Objective 3, but Anticity taking a real just kind of sit back and vibe approach here, and Samurai is going for the opposite again. All these heavily armored troops on the field. We also have some winged lancers being summoned. Interestingly enough, though, Khorne hasn't summoned that many reinforcements. I believe we've just got 1 unit from them, so as you can see, Anticity is stacking the dollar bills. He is getting as much supplies as possible, which really isn't a bad idea whatsoever, because you can see what your opponent summons and then counterpick them when the battle actually gets underway, and it looks like the objectives for now are remaining a little bit neutral. Objective 1 is going to be getting claimed here by Samurai Warrior, and he's going to allow his infantry troops to advance to contest Objective 2. We also have the Bear Cav waiting on the ridge, just looking down on the chaos with absolute scorn. Look at the scum who come to try to take the motherland from us. We shall not bow, we shall not bend, and we shall not break. Quack, 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 quack indeed, Mr. Logic. Looking at very excited to see your performance later on up against the mighty Turin. But the War Sleds are simply bounced around at the moment. It does look like Khorne is sitting back far too much for my opinion. I like to see him get a little bit more aggressive now. The Soul Grinders, of course, have been countered relatively successfully by the Light War Sleds, and that might be why Anticity is hanging back so much at the moment. You see, 1 objective has been claimed by Kislev. In this situation, where my opponent's just sitting back like this, I claim 2 objectives, and by the time they get any sort of comeback money, I basically have my entire army on the field, and then you have a real dominant lead on tickets as well, and your opponent has to kind of fight your entire army and capture your objectives, and it's nigh on impossible. But Anticity is stacking the dough up to 3,000 supplies so far. He is pushing forward with some of his Chaos Warriors to try to fend off the Light War Sleds, but it's still been a big pain. These Soul Grinders are taking considerable damage up to this point, and they're going to really struggle quite badly when they do get involved in the main fight. It looks like the armored troops are just waiting in the middle. quite happy just to take the one cap advantage. And again, if you do this as the Kislev player, when your opponent's not really kind of engaging too much, you can get out your entire army before you actually have to cap too much. We have Ice Guard with Glaives approaching the main fight as well. It looks like the mighty Soul Grinder is popping on top of the rocks here, perhaps looking to shoot down into the light war sleds and do a little bit of damage. The light war sleds are quite happy at the moment just to kite backwards and unleash hell upon the enemy. Maybe do some cycle charge now. The precursor missile weapons doing a decent amount of damage to the light war sleds as they do ramrod in and try to just get some decent engagements up against the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Definitely want to turn their booties around though and retreat back as quickly as possible. Though got some pretty nice free damage there, and the Soul Grinder is going to give them one or two lovely parting shots, but it's not going to do anything too crazy, and is the really slow cap now. Both players decide to stack quite a lot of supplies. Samurai, though, significantly behind there with 1,150 supplies, but is, dominating at the battlefield at the moment and has far more troops left active. The Light War Sled's going to continue just to bound around, poke down now, focus down the Cultists of Khorne. Not a bad target. If you can poke down the Cultists and try to rip them apart before they get their Bloodletter summon, they're basically completely useless. And the War Sleds, though they're taking some damage, the Soul Grinders are really just not paying for themselves at all if they just take damage like this all day long. And Intisi just going for that, hey, I'm going to sit back and try to get as much comeback mechanic as possible, but I really don't think he's going to get any much. I don't know if his nose has been nerfed. It only gets you like one comeback after you're like 1,000 or 1,500 points behind, maybe even 2,000 points behind now. So it's going to be interesting to see how that does happen. It looks like it was a big save up though. Intisi comes out with the Bloodthirster, spending quite a lot of his money in one go. Going to be moving him out to the left hand side and waiting once again to try to get as many troops out as possible. Maybe fend off the Light War Sleds who are doing consistently good damage at the moment. The War Spears still waiting on the wings, nothing too crazy going on yet. I'm waiting for the explosion to really kick off. And then now it looks like Samurai Warrior is going to try to contest the middle and take that second objective. He's probably quite comfortable knowing how much of his army he actually has out on the field right now. And he's going to go for, really apply the pressure, get a load of victory tickets and kind of force Intisi's hand here if he wants any chance of coming back. I do like the fact Intisi is guarding objective 3 though, as it will stop the Kislevites getting that early triple cap, which could prove quite terrible. We have Zargard being summoned. We have more winged lancers as well being brought to the battlefield, and a nice secure objective in the center as both players sip a cup of tea, have a little bit of a chill session so far. Been quite civilized with each other. Just a little bit of poke and stroke on both sides. Nothing too crazy. Now, the Light War Sleds could honestly just use up all their ammunition, withdraw, and get summoned back in to once again shoot stuff. Don't worry, Skank, he will have to engage at some point, or he will simply lose the game, unfortunately for him. And I'm very surprised he's sitting back this much. Honestly, I do not think this is worth it at all. Now, he still, of course, is stacking a lot of resources at the moment, but the damage trades have certainly been better for Samurai so far, getting a lot more damage. He'll be getting more money from that anyway, and yeah, he just dominates the battlefield, at least in unit sizes at the moment. I do like the War Bears waiting up here on the high ground, and looking to jump down on objective 2 if necessary. More Zargard are being summoned into that center objective, and it's really going to come down now to the fact because they were just going to hold the center, and their home objective is going to be almost impossible to cap. Khorne are starting to summon in 1 or 2 more units. We have Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds once again being brought in, just trying to waste all the ammunition, I believe, on the Light War Sleds so the infantry doesn't get run over them too heavily in the mid-game, though. They still work fantastic as just combat troops. And it looks like now we are going to see Intisi making his moves. So Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds will be moving up to cap objective 3. We also have the Soul Grinder starting to rotate around and perhaps apply a little bit of pressure. And now here come the doggos. Oh my god, the swarm! The swarm of Flesh Hounds plus Furies come out to partay. And that's going to be quite a nasty bomb rushing force. And now Khorne is going to strike. So we have 1,995 ticket advantage for the forces of Samurai early on, and in come the enemy. The Light War Sleds are going to be countered quite effectively now. So many Flesh Hounds on the battlefield. They are going to have to pull back and disengage. We've got a load of shooting, though, coming in to take down single entities, which is going to be quite nasty. Flesh Hounds as well are starting to move up from the top objective, and you can see Intisi splurged all his money in one go there, and both players have about equal forces on the battlefield. With a load of Winged Lancers, they need to be careful, though. Flesh Hounds can drag them down, And the poor Bloodthirster is just getting lit on fire by the armored troops right now, who are really reining it in quite hardcore. The Corsair Spears, the Ice Guard Glaives are also whittling down the Chaos Furies on approach. Light War Sleds pinning a lot of the enemy. Warhound's going to be bomb rushing in to this middle objective, but there's so many Winged Lancers around. We also have a load of Flesh Hounds starting to apply pressure in the gap. We've got Zargard here, and Zargard simply going to slaughter the Flesh Hounds. If they can get a good engagement against them, it looks like currently they are fighting the Soul Grinder, which obviously isn't too perfect for them. Chaos Fury is going to bomb rush down onto the Cossars, trying to do a bit of damage there, but once again, Winged Lancers will be able to counterpunch them relatively successfully here, and the Mighty Warbears are simply running over a lot of the troops. Soul Grinder is going to be getting forced back as well by Constantine, and Samurai is holding very, very firm at the moment, and certainly getting some better trades, up to 5,400 damage against the 3,800 of Anticity. It still has got the potential to be quite a close scrap, though. All the Furies get shut down. We still have Ice Guard, who can shoot in, and they got some really cool shooting animations. If they can pop on top of the Bloodthirster and start to drag it down, I'll be really, really impressed here. Chaos Spawn, as well as the Soul Grinder, is going to be pushing up into the main fight. There is heavily armored troops blocking their path. Constantine going to fall back, although he was buffing up a load of his troops there. Winged Lancers and Cossars going to start to apply a bit of pressure to the Flesh Hounds up in this gap. Zargard as well are taking down a decent amount of the Flesh Hounds and just holding the line in the name of the Great Bear God. In the center, the Cossars going to continue to shoot in. The Ice Guard have been jumped by Furies. They do not care. This is bad news for the Furies. They will slice and dice them into little bitty pieces rather quickly. And you can see the Furies are starting to break there. Central objective is still well and truly dominated by Kislev is what I meant to say there, as the Zargard are moving in and just really dispatching all of the halberds with deadly effectiveness. Bloodthirster is being pushed back, Soul Grinders are taking considerable damage, and it looks like both players have spent the majority of their resources. We do have some Griffin Legion being summoned. Armored Cossar is going to force off more Warhounds, who are being used to flank up and around and try to bomb rush at that middle objective. In the center, we do get a lovely spell. The Heart of Winter goes down on all of the Hound units, plus on top of this unit of Chaos Warriors of Khorne. That's going to do devastating damage. Constantine points at the Soul Grinder and says, "You're next, big boy," and he comes in with his bear with the Winged Lancers, looking to slap him around a little bit. Soul Grinder not having a great day whatsoever. The middle objective is now starting to be capped, though, by Khorne. They simply have so many troops pushing through, doing a load of deadly damage. But at this point, I think Kislev only needs to hold one objective, so as long as Samurai is clever about it, he can kind of hunker down on one force and hold the line. Bloodthirster is going to swoop in. Likewise is going to be the Soul Grinder, trying to apply a bit of pressure to the Zargard. And the central objective is looking very, very close to falling into the hands of Khorne here. We have a load of armored troops moving up, though. Looks like Samurai does know he just needs to protect objective number 1, and he'll be absolutely fine. He is vastly superior as far as damage is concerned so far, but a lot of his force has been pushed back towards his spawn instead of being on the objective. We've got Zargard here, Winged Lancers as well, and the Hounds are so freaking amazing. They're probably some of the best units in the game because they're so fast and they're fantastic at capping. We also have the summons coming in from the Bloodletters, looking to drag down the Griffin Legion, who definitely want to fall out and back from there. Bloodletter summons, of course, will go down after a set amount of time. Corsairs continue to pile on the pressure and do some decent damage. Now, if I'm Samurai Warrior, I'm going to make some sneaky pushes with cavalry onto objective 3 to force my opponent back, and then just hold objective 1. He only needs 1,000 victory points to hold this objective, though. There is quite a scary force of Khorne on the battlefield. I think there's still a bit more Kislev going around, though. We do have some armored troops just pinning them in. The Cultists of Khorne, everything's being pinned in by these couple of units, which is a lovely play by Samurai, stopping them from getting onto the objective for as long as physically possible. And yeah, I'd love to see just one unit of cavalry push back on objective 3. It will mean Intestity's got a bucket ton of problems. And even in the center, we have armored troops coming in. We've got Zargard moving in as well, and they may be able to claim objective 2 back if Intensity isn't careful. Zargard are easily carving their way for the Chaos Warhounds. They do need to get onto the objective, though, and it looks like that's just what they're doing. We do have some more Flesh Hounds being pushed in to the middle objective. Objective 1 is still in the hands of Kislev so far, and it is not going anywhere yet, but there's so many Khorne forces pouring through. Do they have time? 4,300 tickets right now, and we have even more Winged Lancers being moved in. This is going to be a big scrap, a very big scrap, and is going to determine a lot of the battle. But in the middle here, we can see Kislev are picking up a pretty good defense of objective 2. Flesh Hounds are giving up in the fight, though, and the Zargard and Armored Cossars probably not going to be enough to turn this around. Still, one unit pushing objective 3 would be fantastic from Samurai Warrior. He is still well and truly holding objective 1, and we have the most devastating, the most beautiful cast of Heart of Winter I've ever seen. Look at the death of Warhounds. If you've played against me on this game, you know my hatred of these evil little doggos, though I do love dogs in general, and they're getting slaughtered by the Heart of Winter. Only 500 more tickets does Samurai have to hold gone for. Griffin Legion going to be dealing with the Flesh Hounds rather successfully there. The Bloodthirster's looking weak. The enemy Soul Grinder's looking weak. But Khorne are starting to cap the objective in the last second. Wing Lancers pouring in, and they start capturing it back. This is just units being poured in to this right-hand flank. Can Samurai hold on? Once again, one unit going to objective 3 would be massive right now. One unit of Wing Lancers is easy enough to overwhelm the Furies, and he could cap objective 3 and the game would be his. But it looks like he's thrown all his units instead to attempting to hold this objective up on the right-hand side, and it is crazy close after what was a ridiculously slow start. It has kicked off massively. Khorne's Lord is dead, which is bad news for them, but look at the amount of Kislev forces which are about to break and run away. Warbeds are looking down quite badly here. Wing Lancers are going down, but Kislev is still holding the objective for now. They are so close, but it's gone to a snail's pace, only holding the one objective. Warbear sleds are pushing forward. I love to see them intercepting some of these forces. We have Furies flying in who cannot cap objectives, but they can do damage, and it is such a fight for objective 1 right now. We do have some cavalry finally from Samurai Warrior in the form of Wing Lancers plus Armored Kossars moving towards objective 3 to go intercept. Can he hold on here? It is once again going in favor of Khorne. He has ranged troops just sitting outside. Move in, lads. Move in and hold in the name of Kislev. Loads of Furies around again. Not going to do too much damage, and I think Samurai's going to win this. I think it's too little, too late. There's a lot of pressure coming in. These Korsars just need to move into this objective, and it is over, and Samurai wins, but he has forgotten about them. They are laning shots in instead with range, and that could prove crucial. No, it is not. Samurai is going to hold and come out with the victory. Holy crap. Holy moly. That is going to be saved as. What a game. That was mental. Woo! That was insane. That certainly woken me up, lads. That was madness. So Anticity attempting the kind of tactic, which has been nerfed, by the way, of like, hey, I'm going to sit back, build a giant army, and just swarm you. And Kislev said, no, sirree, not today, you won't. Soul Grinders, 2.2k, 1.1k value on them, 1.3 on the Spawn of Chaos. The Cultist did okay, but nothing too crazy there. Got in the majority of his reserve army. I'm thinking perhaps he just thought, hey, with my opponent's starting build, I can't contest it. I need to get out as much of my army as possible, and then I'm going to believe in my skill to overwhelm Samurai in kind of a one large army versus one large army fight. 1.7k on the Bloodthirster, not doing it too much there. Flesh Hounds are a menace in the night. 1.5k, 1.3k, 900. Doing a pretty decent job across the board for them. As for Kislev itself, Constantine, 1,000 damage value on him, 1.3 on the Frost Maiden, 900 on the Warbear, and the War Sled's got 2,100, 1,300 damage value. Good discipline play by Samurai. He's an experienced player. Like, you can't catch him out with too many tricks. 1,000 value on the Ice Guard, and just Kislev held for so long in the middle that it didn't matter that he was getting overwhelmed towards the end. Like, he still had so much forces left, and that right-hand objective could easily have been taken back as well, because Kislev was so close to the home ground, and he started applying pressure to Anticity's kind of back spawn as well. Yes, yes. How's it been nerfed? I believe the amount of, like, money you get is just being reduced, like, across the board. I'm pretty sure. That's what I've been told anyway. I haven't, like, done, like, you know, specific tests and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it is a best of 3, Nathan. So there's 2 best of 3s plus a best of 5 final. Let me quickly hop out the game. Please do not crash game. I believe in you. And let's update the score. So Samurai Warrior taking that game 1-0. Very lovely work there by him. Just good discipline play in general. Cool. A load of people are chatting in the Discord, but it's all good. The players look like they've just saw all their matchups in advance, which I appreciate. Makes things a lot quicker here on stream. So Samurai Warrior is going to be Slanesh up against Anticity's Tzeentch, and I do need to change the map here. The map shall be Galleon's Cove, I believe. And let's hop straight into it. Whoa, that was a wild one, lads. That was a wild game for sure. After this one, I will once again I'll kind of explain the charity idea behind the stream for you guys. You know, I won't do it like after every game, but I'll kind of do it after every best of 3 and so forth, and let you guys know what's going on. But for more information, there is a link down below in the description, or feel free to ask the mods. We are raising money today for Macmillan's cancer support team. which is really awesome. They do a fantastic job, and there's a link down below where a family friend of mine is running a half marathon after having recovered herself with the help of this charity from cancer last year, and she's running a half marathon this year to raise money for it, and she's so close to her goal, I thought I would do a live stream, get some of the best players around to compete in it, and hopefully raise some money. If you are struggling to send money through there, send me a DM on Discord, or just shoot me it across on PayPal with the like words in bold, just say like charity, and I'll get it sent at the end of the day anyway. Yes, they have to play different races each game. So best of 3, it is blind picks. And, yeah, basically that's it. There's no, the cool thing about this kind of game is there's not that many tournament rules we need to have in place. It's just like, no, best of 3, blind picks, best of 5 final, maps are preset, and these guys are kind of, you know, determining their armies and stuff in advance. So for the forces of Intisti, we'll have to see if he goes for a different strategy this time. And he does love his air corps with Tzeentch. And Intisti is actually kind of the first winner, I believe, of like a major Total War Warhammer 3 tournament. So Samurai certainly has his work cut out for him, but being 1-0 up is certainly a nice boon. We have triple Chaos Furies leading the charge alongside a Herald of Tzeentch. This is the little chonky duck that I like to speak of. He's pretty badass. He's going to be coming in, I believe, with pink and blue fire abilities, which is quite nice. We then have a second little horror of metal coming in with Plague of Rust. And then we have a third little horror as well, all riding just awesome badass style on their mounts here, just vibing into battle on their flaming discs. Is coming in with a blue Fire of Tzeentch. We have pink horrors as well as Forsaken of Tzeentch in the back. For the forces of Master Samurai, we do have Hellstriders of Slaanesh. It looks like 2 units of those bad boys. We also have Hellstriders with the whips, which is a bit more anti-infantry. So there's a bucket ton of cavalry, plus a Herald of Slaanesh hiding in the trees right now, coming in with a Fury summon. And let's see if there's anything else crazy. We have the pin, so you cannot move, and minus 16 leadership, and the big debuff as well, so I like it. It looks like Intisti really going for the air core, which is, in my opinion, very smart to do up against Slaanesh. Slaanesh dominate the ground game, and it's almost impossible to compete with them. Something they lack is flies. Now, they do have their own Furies, plus we have the summon, so you can certainly overwhelm the Tzeentch ones, but with Intisti being able to summon just more in, it could be rather problematic. Now, Slaanesh is going to move directly all the way into the enemy spawn. Now, this could be a bit of a bait and a trap. If Samurai Warrior floods into the objective and just starts overrunning these units, Intisti can summon units behind him and pin him in place, and that's just what we're going to get with the Furies here. This is going to be wild stuff. Right now, Riders of Slaanesh for Wrath, for Ruin, and a Red Dawn, and they yeet into the enemy. The pink horror is certainly going to suffer quite badly. Forsaken, likewise, are getting overwhelmed here, and I honestly don't know if this is going to go super well for the Furies either, so I like the early pressure from Samurai. It's like, hey, you're going to sit back again? I'm going to come towards you. I'm going to just delete all your units. However, we're getting some lovely magic. Oh my god, the pink flame there, doing massive work to the Hellstriders, plus we have a summon of Spawn of Tzeentch, and this is just the wildest start to a game I think I've seen yet. Fury's going to be bomb rushing down, and the Hellstriders taking massive damage. I do feel like they overcommitted a little bit here. Is it going to be a fair trade? I mean, if they get these units back from route and they don't run off the board, he still has 3 healthy units. The pink horrors with their shields, though, will come back relatively strong. Forsaken are absolutely knackered, however, and the early battle went in the favor, it seems, of Intisti. Not too much, about 500 gold difference there. We do have more Hellstriders starting to pour in as well. Interested to see if he attempts to contest the air game with the Herald of Slaanesh using her summon. So the Hellstriders continue to push him. Forsaken are taking a lot of damage. Seekers as well are overrunning the pink horrors. Hellstriders and even more cavalry are just beating the living breaks out of the Furies out on the left-hand side here. So damage value-wise, it looks like Intisti is still pulling ahead at the moment, though I do think Samurai's managed to get himself into some relatively decent positions on some of the units, and the Furies have taken quite a pounding at the moment. This could also mean that we get some nice summons coming in from Samurai himself, and we do. We get Chaos Furies up in the skies, and they are just assassinating one of these pesky little casters, which isn't a bad idea whatsoever if you can get them off the field, but it is a 3v1 fight, and I think Slaanesh needs to pull back at the moment. The early rush tactic did not work. Intisti managed to get a lot more value out of the fight there, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, though, because now that initial fight was out, it was nothing too crazy. There's 1,800 difference gold damage. I've certainly seen that easily kind of being able to come back multiple times. So it's not too devastating in the early games for Samurai, but certainly wasn't great either. He's moving up now with some Marauders of Slaanesh to contest Objective 2, and honestly not bringing in our Furies could be a big problem to deal with the triple cast. They will run out of magic though, of course, and when that happens you can dominate, but the pink Horror of Tzeentch, or the pink Spell of Tzeentch is really fantastic against Slaanesh because they have no armor, so it does big damage to their cavalry as well as big damage to their infantry. Making an early triple cap coming in though from Samurai Warrior. He's going for objective 1, he's pushing objective 2 with infantry, and it looks like objective number 3 is about to be under his control with Hellstriders actually retreating back from Chaos Furies. A fight they would probably win if he has some of the whip variety in there as well. The mighty Herald of Slaanesh is running for her life. Run away! Flee, you fool! She actually summoned some Furies into the battle. I keep calling them Harpies because I keep thinking they are. But they're not their Furies, and we're going to see 2 Furies go after the Air Core of Intisti, which I don't know if it's going to be enough, but at least it will distract them for a rather long time, and hopefully drag down at least one of the spellcasters. Objective 2 looks like it's going to be contested and fought over with Marauders moving forward. We have even more Furies being summoned by Intisti, and Spawn of Tzeentch and Forsaken Tzeentch waiting in the wings. Objective 3 is currently being claimed by Intisti, again moving out with a large infantry force on that far side, and Objective 1 is idle at the moment. So more Fury's been summoned by Samurai. Looks like he's really trying to contest the air game where possible. He is starting to do decent damage to a lot of these Heralds now. You can see their HP is starting to drop considerably. And more Fury's being poured on. Being so close to the home objective could be quite nice. Another pink fire comes in, and look at the disgusting value that gets on the Marauders. That is really, really scary stuff there. Objective 3 is now being secured by Tzeentch, who are having a whale of a time. Forsaken are moving forward as well as the Spawn of Tzeentch, and it does look like the deficit has been cut slightly. Samurai starting to get back into the game. Heartseekers and Hellstriders moving towards the middle objective, and that big air fight is going pretty well, I would argue, for the forces of Tzeentch still there. Heroes just a bit too tanky, and it's meaning the Furies are really starting to suffer for Tzeentch, but they or for Slaanesh, but they're holding them back at least. The Herald has absorbed a bucket ton of damage and is still alive. Going to be summoning yet another unit of Furies to take on the air engagement. And down on the ground, it does look like Intisti's forces will be claiming Objective 2. We have Chaos Spawn in here. We have Forsaken, and they're simply going to overwhelm the Marauders of Slaanesh. Now, we have some cavalry coming for a bit of a shock charge, and this is what Slaanesh are all about, baby. Getting down on the flanks and in the rear. That's where they love hitting people. Forsaken and Spawn are starting to struggle. We have even more cavalry just swarming the center objective, which is now still being held by Slaanesh at the moment, which is certainly good news there for Samurai Warrior. In the middle fight, Herald of Slaanesh has been jumped. Looks like the character may get assassinated here. Chaos Furies are doing a decent job pinning her in place with the characters. And oh my god, that pink and blue fire damage is just absurd so far. And I think Samurai's Lord is going to be bowing out. Middle objective, though, being held by Slaanesh. Objective 1 held by no one. Objective 3 by Tzeentch. Pretty wild start here. It's been absolutely crazy stuff. Once again, Intisti starts pulling ahead once again in the damage department, which is very, very big news. A lot of that has come down, though, just to the character assassination, really, more than anything else, but once again dominating the skies here as more Furies are summoned to the battlefield. Seekers of Slaanesh going to be charging in, trying to bomb rush the Pink Horrors. Not a bad target. Pink Horrors are a big pain in the butt because they can just throw these pink plasma grenades into the enemy and really add up on the damage. They are getting hit by a fascination here, going to cause them to rampage and do some decent damage to them as the Seekers of Slaanesh jump on them, doing some pretty crazy damage. Middle objective is now being capped once again by Intisti, trying to dominate the battlefield wherever he possibly can. And up in the skies, Chaos Furies are just bumping and grinding Slaanesh style up against the Tzeentch Chaos Furies there. And the Horrors, you know, they're doing okay. Their shields mean they're actually really durable. This is quite a dirty build by Intisti. The double hero plus Lord Spellcaster seems good, particularly in the early game, but he needs to make this early game dominance last, because he's going to be starting to run out of Winds of Magic relatively soon, I'd think. We've seen quite a few spells summoned, and damage-wise, he's massively ahead. But remember, there is, of course, the chance of a comeback from the mighty Samurai. Seekers of Slaanesh are going to be running down at Pink Horrors. He just needs to try to win as many engagements as possible now and mitigate as much losses as well. So there's no point pushing into this big mass. You're only going to lose troops and make your opponent even stronger. I really do like the idea of this Tzeentch build taking out the enemy spellcaster so it can't be punished by Pendulum or anything nasty like that. Blue Horrors are able to finish off Marauders of Slaanesh. Objective 1 is being capped though by Samurai. He doesn't want to stay too far out of touch with Intisti, who currently is at a 200 ticket advantage, so nothing too crazy, or 300 ticket advantage. Hellstriders are going to be using their mobility to jump on the Blue Horrors, and this is exactly what Samurai has to do. Finish off these little devils wherever you can and try to put them in their place. But he needs to be careful bunching up like this, because these Horrors, man, have been a nightmare for Slaanesh to deal with and could come down with, once again, 1 or 2 pink or blue fires to really bring the pain. But it does look like the Blue Horror is going to be going down pretty nastily there in the back. Over on Objective 3, it looks like Samurai has decided he's going to contest this one. Wrapping up and around with the Seekers of Slaanesh. Get a lovely rear attack on the enemy. We also have a load of Marauders moving in to engage. And once again, just fury on the fury violence. When will it end? When will it end, guys? Who knows? So down here in the middle, Forsaken are chewing their way through Marauders of Slaanesh. I think Forsaken are one of the best units in this game mode in general, just period, across the board for all demons. They do so much disgusting value, and they are now chewing their way through cheap infantry, which is something which is so good at capping objectives, and they're relatively fast. And they're doing a good job here, just pinning in all these warriors, and oh, pink fire coming down and just eviscerating some of the Marauders. This is getting really rough now. We have about a 3,000 nearly gold damage value point lead coming by plus he has more objectives than him. This game is looking really quite rough now for Samurai, and he doesn't even have that many models in reserve, or like money in reserve, as he splurges there on 2 units of the Hellstriders of Slaanesh, 1 sent in one direction, 1 sent in the other, perhaps to guard objective 1 though. I don't think Antisty's pushing this too much at the moment. He probably wants to concentrate his forces, or actually it's probably better to spread apart Tzeentch a little bit and try and hit them from different angles, because at the moment he's just losing the majority of the fights. Seekers Slaanesh going to be going down here as they get jumped by Furies. Hellstriders do pour onto the spawn, and it looks like the spawn are about spent. They're nearly down here. It does look like we're going to get yet another pink fire coming through. The value on these little geezers must be absolutely insane by now. Up to 2,300 value on the Herald of Tzeentch. We don't see them in play that often, which is a shame because they are chunky little ducklings, but I'm sure now after people watch this game, tomorrow they're going to be like, right, all 3 of them, let's go. But it's a lot harder to pull off than you would think. Antisty, of course, one of the best players in the game. Likewise, he was for Warhammer 2. Furies up in the skies continue to dominate and just help protect this hero core, and I really do not know what Samurai can do in this situation, and I don't think he does either, as he decides to bow out there with the loss, which I think was pretty much game over at that point. So well played, Antisty. Slaanesh is quite a nice counter to Tzeentch, and that's a very typical early rush, right? Coming in from Slaanesh, I'm going to bomb rush you, run over all your units, and you're not going to be able to get back into the game. And a lot of people kind of worry about that early on, like, oh, someone's just going to bomb rush me with Slaanesh and camp my spawn, I'm not going to be able to do anything. You can easily do stuff, you just have to mix it up a bit, and Antisty baiting him in right to the back of spawn, and then summoning units of, Chaos Spawn to pin them in place, and then just dominating the air game all day long. Herald, 2,300 gold value, 70 kills. The others, 1.5k and 500 damage. Of course, that was the Metal Caster, so he was more here for the Plague of Rust. Do a Plague of Rust, you do the pink spell, and just watch the damage flow. So really lovely build coming by Antisty. 1,000 value on the Forsaken, 610 on the Pink Horrors, 1,900 and 600 value on the Chaos Furies. The Spawn did okay, nothing too crazy, good for pinning in place, but Forsaken I'm just such a huge fan of in general. I think they're very powerful, but nice play, nice map control as well by Antisty, it's got to be said. Samurai, he was up against it there, 1,000 value though on the Heartseekers is nice, 930 on the other cavalry. I don't think any of his other units were really going to pay for themselves. The Herald of Slaanesh, only 3 gold value, unfortunately getting sniped out. It was just as well he didn't bring the more expensive lords like Nakari, could have gone even worse. His own Furies did okay, but they were really outmatched. 1,000 damage value is not bad. He's had far less of them, and it meant that he couldn't contest the air game. So well played to Antisty. Very smart play. Very nasty play indeed. So up next, we will be moving on to the Silver Spire is the next map. Looks like the players are ready, but I will quickly update the scoreboard. What is the stream multiplayer? Yes, it is indeed. It is indeed. Hope you guys are good. Sorry, we've been like going straight into these guys. These guys are like real snappy right now. So I'm not having too much time to chat to you guys. But hello everyone. Hello, hello. What's up, Tyrion? See, he's in chat. He's getting ready to rumble. What's up, Doctor? Tzeentch are pretty nasty for sure. Tzeentch are pretty nasty for sure. I think they are comfortably the best faction in the game. Comfortably the best faction in the game. Ogre Mirror win? Ogres are good. Ogres are good. Don't get it twisted. Ogres are very powerful. So we will probably see them in the tournament at some point. So that is 1-0. Anticipate putting out the stops here. And then we will load into the next game. So as we load in, guys, once again, this is a stream to try to raise charity. So anyone who would normally donate to the channel, I get a few donations normally per stream. Please do not donate to me today. Instead, donate to the link. A lot of my mods have been popping it in chat. There's also a link down below. We're trying to raise money for Mac Miller Cancer Support, which is a charity which helps support people both physically and mentally as they go trying to recover from cancer. A family friend of mine did manage to recover with their help last year and has decided to run a half marathon to raise money. to help support and give back to the charity. And there's a link down below there to how you can support her. She's managed to raise, I think, £1,250 so far, which is absolutely insane, and is trying to get to 1,500. So I thought we'd be able to help out and, you know, give a little bit of love back to the community and these awesome charities which do so much fantastic work. Now, it's going to be different from which country you're in on how you can pay via there. You don't have to sign up to anything. If you want to leave a message, just say quack or something, and she doesn't know I'm doing this yet. I'm going to let her know tomorrow. So hopefully she'll wake up with a load of donations just saying quack to her. If for whatever reason you can't donate because your country won't let you or anything, feel free just to shoot me a PM and we can get it sorted out on Discord, or just send me money on PayPal and just say, like, for the charity, and I'll push it to get out there at the end of the day, basically. So this time, we've seen the reverse fixture. So it is Tzeentch versus Slaanesh once more. And looks like some very different tactics coming in by these players. So Anticity is coming in now today with the glorious Slaanesh. So we have double Soul Grinder from him, which is an interesting pick. So these Soul Grinders are combat-focused Soul Grinders who do come with magic attacks, as well as the glorious Musk, which does some pretty nice debuff. And they have the bonus versus large. We do have a double Marauders of Slaanesh in the back here. We have 1, 2, 3 units of the Hellstrider, so relatively similar start, but coming with the big scary monsters. And I don't know if we actually even have a Lord, so once again, maybe we have a different unit as a Lord. It's hard to tell amongst all the carnage. We'll have to come back and see once he gets out of the trees. For the forces of Tzeentch and Master Samurai Warrior, who did manage to go up 1-0 in this best of 3, but unfortunately has been knocked back down to 1-0. Now we have double Doom Knights up in the skies. We also have Screamers of Tzeentch and the mighty Fate Weaver himself, the two-headed glorious duck, charging into battle, coming in with the blue fire of Tzeentch, the Pendulum, as well as Regrowth. We do have Blue Horrors as well down on the low ground. Looks like they're going to go to the home objective, and some Chaos Furies being summoned. Personally, I prefer not sending a unit to objective 1 instantly in this game mode. Wait until you got about a minute on the clock, summon some reinforcements, and then push over to it instead. Doom Knights are vibing at the moment up in the skies, just trying to circle around and spot any nasty targets they can. And Slaanesh cowering and hiding in the trees at the moment and trying to mitigate as much damage as possible in the early game, knowing that if they push out, they're simply going to get jumped by all these nasty flyers. We have more Furies on the way. Objective 1's going to be quite comfortably capped by the Blue Horrors. And it's going to be a chill opening, I think. I think Anticity, once again, he kind of went for the bomb rush last time, or almost the bait, like pulling the enemy troops into his deployment zone. And this time he's going to vibe. He can't summon Furies because the Doom Knight will absolutely delete them. And it looks like he's just chilling at the moment in the trees. This is honestly the most absurd games I've seen and played in the entirety of my Warhammer 3 career so far. Both these players pulling out all the weirdest stops to try and gain an upper hand. But again, both of them very top tier players. And it's going to be pretty wild stuff. So we have about a minute left till the victory points do tick on here. Now, the problem for Anticity is he can't summon that many units because he's just going to get obliterated by the magic. So it looks like he's stacking dough at the moment. We saw him attempt this tactic in the first game, and it backfired heavily, and he just lost. He's trying to just bait in some magic right now. I don't think Samurai's going to fall for that one, unfortunately. And he's got to be careful. He doesn't want the same situation to occur of what did in game 1, where he got so far behind that he just couldn't catch him no matter what he did. And yeah, Samurai's not going to bomb dive these Marauders of Slaanesh. There's literally no need for him to do so. And that's what all Anticity wants. He wants him to catch them so all the cavalry can flood out from the trees and catch them. Objective 1 about to be secured in 30 seconds by Blue Horrors. And Samurai's like, fine, man, if you want to sit back, I'm just going to summon a load of units and bog down on the middle. We have double Blue Horrors, as well as some Forsaken being summoned, moved over to Objective 2. It looks like for now, is there any troops really being summoned in by Slaanesh? Looks like he's stacking his money for the most part. Soul Grinds are now deciding to finally push out, but again, it could be a little bit of a bait. We are going to get to see some pretty nice damage coming in there by the Blue Fire of Tzeentch from Kairos Fate Weaver, and now that the objectives are being opened up, it looks like Anticity does want to risk what happened last time. He's got a couple of objectives, or a couple of units down here to claim Objective 3 if need be, and now he's going to push on to Objective 2, which I think is definitely 100% the smart thing to do. Like, sitting back and just vibing the entire battle tends to go very poorly, at least from what I've seen. We do have Blue Horrors capping Objective 1 here. More troops coming in the form of the Pink Horrors and Blue Horrors moving over to Objective 2. We've even got some Forsaken as well, ready to partay. Now, some Hellstriders, unfortunately, do stride a bit too far away from any friendly troops, and that's really rough. So that unit Hellstriders taking massive amounts of damage. We're about to see a Gaze of Fate plus a Pendulum go down on the Marauders. That's going to delete them instantly. My main problem with this is you just wasted a very powerful Hex, which you only have 3 casts of, plus a Pendulum to kill one unit of Marauders. I don't know if that's worth it, but hey, at least it gets them off the field early, and you can see the middle objective, though, looks like it's going to be getting capped by Slaanesh, at least in the early game. Doom Knights charging down to engage the cavalry on the low ground here. Double side grinder have pushed up. They definitely come over and float and help out because Doom Knights, as well as the Screamers, as I like to call them, Flatfish, will be able to destroy the Hell's Riders pretty damn quickly. Now, it looks like Tisty has summoned a load of Chaos Furies. Now that his opponent has used up his flyers, or they're down on the ground, or kind of busy elsewhere, he summoned some of his own Air Force to contest with Tzeentch. Doom Knights over here, though, will quite comfortably defeat any Fury sent at them. They are heavily armored and pretty badass. Though they are stuck on the ground, and we have Chaos Spawn being summoned and Hellstriders overwhelming a lot of the ground force from Tzeentch. The big fly is floating over as well. We have Blue Horrors on the approach, and Blue Horrors are probably my favorite unit in the Tzeentch roster. One, they have some hilarious voice acting, and likewise, they are devastating. They're a combat unit, don't get it twisted. Though they have 5 ammunition, they're all about being in combat and launching those grenades on the approach. Think of them as souped-up dwarf miners with blasting charges. The Assault Grinders are on the approach. Hellstrider's going to be a nice counter, though. They are starting to push in pretty aggressively. One unit's been sent in advance, though, so perhaps all the other units can shoot and counterpunch in. Intensity is flanking from both sides, though, looking to try to overwhelm Objective 2, which is currently being held by Slaanesh, but it is starting to fall more and more in favor of the mighty Tzeentch. We see a pendulum come down the line. That does some okay damage. There's a nice juke there by Intensity. If you've got cavalry, you can juke it. If you've got infantry, it's not possible to juke in this, I don't think. Unless you go forward, but you're normally pinned in place at that point. Looks like the objective is now, once again, it's kind of teetering on the edge. Both players very close to actually contesting and holding this objective. Looking to flick back and forth as the Hellstriders do get counter-charged by Forsaken, which isn't going to go good for them. But Intestity's dominating the back lane now with all this cavalry looking to pin the enemy in place. We do get a nasty gaze of Fate go down, though, and it looks like the Forsaken may come in with a counter-charge with some nice play by Samurai Warrior. Damage value-wise, Intensity once again ahead, but only by about 600 damage value. Up in the skies, his beat-up Doom Knights trying to contest the Chaos Furies. Not going to go too well for them, I don't think. They're quite injured at the moment. Lovely, massive bombardment coming down from Samurai, though. Look at the glorious damage. It's going to be going down on Hellstriders mainly. This thing wrecks infantry and cavalry alike. It just does so much burst damage. Nice little comeback there by Samurai, but he is down by about 500 gold value. That pendulum really helped him out quite a bit, taking down the Hellstriders. And the Soul Grinders, you can pick them like this with the blue fire of Tzeentch. It doesn't do like insanely quick damage, unfortunately. So that's more of like a long con, and I think at the moment Samurai is just struggling to get troops on the field quick enough. We have some Blue Horrors summoned, we have some Forsaken summoned, we also have some Doom Knights in the far side. It's really hard on this map to contest your opponent's home objective. So it is going to become a big fight for the middle here. Fate Weaver is a vibe next to some enemy Chaos Furies for a little while, but they do decide to actually turn and engage each other a bit. 2 Furies, though. It's kind of scary. Fate Weaver's not a good melee combatant, at least compared to the basic Exalted Lord that you can get with Tzeentch. And it looks like he is struggling a bit there, but Doom Knights float over, and they're certainly about to tear into the Furies. Interesting enough, I believe their shields are valued like a percentage-wise of how much HP they have left. So the weaker they get, the weaker their shields will get as well. Objective 1 is being held, it seems, quite comfortably right now by Samurai Warrior. We have double Blue Horrors sitting on that objective, and he's hanging back the majority of his army right now. He's like, okay, I'm losing pretty badly. I need to find a way back into this game. I'm going to summon up a big army and go for a big contested push on the mid, because the middle is pink, and it is glorious. Slaanesh are a menace in the night for sure. Up in the skies, Chaos Fate Weaver is a vibing. Doom Knights do seem to get a little bit stuck there on the ground, and probably just want to get pulled back anyway into the reserves to heal up a little bit, because they are very injured at the moment. Fate Weaver does some nice shots down onto the Soul Grinder, being a bit problematic as he flies around getting some value. A lot of these Slaanesh units need to be withdrawn from the battlefield, though, and just healed up, because they're not going to do too much. Even on impact, they kind of get dragged down. But if they can hunt down the Forsaken, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, is there any chance to cap an Objective 3? Of course there is, because there's nothing currently guarding it. So a sneaky unit down the side. Unit Forsaken's always quite nice because they can destroy a lot of lightly armored infantry looking to contest them, but it's still pretty rough. And of course, someone like Intensity has really good map control and map micro. He's going to know when something like that is up. We do have some more Chaos Furies being summoned. It looks like we've got some Screamers of Tzeentch also being brought into the battlefield. Objective 1 is well and truly secure for him. I think I would move probably one of the Blue Horrors towards the middle and go for a big push in the center. He needs to do it soon, though. Otherwise, he'll be forced to attempt a triple cap, and triple capping on this map is nigh on impossible. we seen any crazy summons coming from the back? It doesn't look like it. Bayweaver is just vibing hardcore style towards the enemy deployment zone and waiting to pounce if at all possible. And it looks like the force of Tzeentch are slowly inching their way forward. Samurai's like, do I go now? Do I not go? But he's summoning more and more troops, attempting to get a little bit money from that comeback bonus. And he should be getting a little bit of comeback now from being kind of 1,500 tickets behind. But I think it's just like one extra income. So I don't know if it's going to be that much of a difference. I think fighting and trying to get better engagements will most likely be the best way to go here. We do have Marauder Slanesh being summoned in by Anticity, and he's just waiting for the hordes of Tzeentch to arrive. Now, this is a decent army. It's got Forsaken to chew for the enemy infantry, blue and pink horrors to do the damage, but it's really susceptible to cavalry, something Slanesh is very good at, and I can see Anticity maybe doing an aggressive push forward and trying to bomb rush his force as much as possible. This is do or die for Samurai. I think one of these units of blue horrors needs to be moved into the middle as well, and this is all or nothing. But cavalry starting to swarm from all angles, going to be starting to float over and really trying to shut down the horrors if at all possible. Forsaken charge in, do some lovely damage on the charge to the spawn, and now we do have the glorious pink and blue grenades of Tzeentch being poured onto the enemy. Likewise, Screamers come in. I like that as a pick coming in by Samurai. More Screamers going to start bomb rushing down onto the Soul Grinders, attempting to rip and tear them apart. Fury's doing a decent job as well in the middle though, harassing all the horrors who have had to move into hand-to-hand combat, not where they want to be, particularly the pink ones. They want to be shooting and raining shots in as quickly as possible. Blue horrors are doing just that. Damage value-wise is very close at the moment. Looks like Samurai's pulled it back quite nicely from where he was at the start of the battle, but I don't know where his Lord is on the way back. Seeing some nice pendulums would be good, but Seekers of Slanesh float around the side, jump on top of the blue horrors, and I just don't see any way in past this massive pink wall. We've got a nice little push going on the center where the Screamers are, with a fat pendulum coming down. It is going to catch the Marauders, do some pretty decent damage there, take them down about half their HP, but again, it's a pretty cheap unit to use that pendulum on. We've got the big beam attack coming in down on the Marauders of Slanesh, but it seems like aren't going to be able to dodge it. They may end up just doing a friendly fire instead. Chaos Furies have been summoned, looking to do perhaps a push back to Objective 1, or just pin in the enemy reinforcements and pink horrors. The tickets are so close to Anticity's victory. It does look like Samurai is right on him damage value-wise, but can't get anywhere near the objectives. Anticity's played this really well, being defensive in the early game and again aggressive in the late game. It seems like Tzeentch, the force of Tzeentch, which a lot of people have been calling overpowered, they're definitely powerful. They are definitely, in my opinion, the best faction in the game right now, but they are also 100% beatable. Pink horrors and blue horrors raining shots down on Slanesh. So much damage being done, but as long as the fight is happening over here, away from the objective, Anticity's going to be loving this. You can see it's actually starting to be capped back a little bit there by Samurai, but his last push was not enough, and I still think he did the right play there. You know, I've lost the main engagement, the big kind of middle fight. I need to sit back and form an army and try for one last push, but alas, it was not enough. And well played to Anticity. He will be moving forward to the finals, which will be against either Turin or Mr. Logic. Their games will be up in a second, so we'll have to see how it goes. So yeah, no general coming for Anticity. Just a real cheap Herald of Slanesh kept in reserve, which is kind of smart against Tzeentch. I can see a lot of players doing this. If you don't want your Lord sniped, bring the cheapest Lord you can bring. Bring a cheap cast Lord, take off all their abilities and spells, and just keep them in reserve army and never bring them forward. The Soul Grinders were a menace. Only 685... 607 and 855 gold value on them, but they were a big presence in the middle, and it really did stop Tzeentch pushing aggressively. And the Hellstriders did okay. 1,000 damage value being a bit of a standout there. Any other big standouts? I don't think so. He just kind of played the map a little bit better. The Furies did good, as Furies always do. Furies are very powerful, but no crazy damage value. As for Mr. Samurai Warrior, Chaos Fate Weaver, 2,000 gold value is nice. 1.2 and 1k on the Doom Knights. They got some good value, and towards the end was starting to actually take the lead a little bit in damage value, at least in that final fight. He was doing way more damage than Anticity was doing to him, but he just couldn't get his units in the right fights at the right time. His backline constantly got swarmed and harassed. I do think Slanesh is a pretty decent counter to Tzeentch in general, but it is a very hard fight indeed. What's up, Torx the Brass Ball? What's up, Sea Moon? Hope you guys are all good. Should do an Ogre matchup. Oh, man. Ogre matchups are very good. Very good player. Anticity needs enough. Yeah, like, you guys are seeing some crazy tactics here. Trust me. you not to, like, diss anyone. You're probably not going to be able to pull them off straight away. Anticity is, like, incredibly good player. He won the first major tournament of Warhammer 3. You may have seen it on, I think that was on official Twitch, like Turbo's official Twitch, hosted by Turin. It was awesome. Go check it out, 100%. So he is very scary to take down. He knows exactly what he's doing. What's up, Loopy? How's it going, champ? It's very good, the tier 3 Zinch ability, but you got to get to it, so you won't be able to do it that often. What's up, Wicked D? How's it going, champ? Hope you're all good today. Hope you're all good. Yeah, I think Zinch are better than Sinesh for sure. Yeah, we definitely need a nerf for Intensity. Like, I played some games against him early on and we were trading, like, evenly. And then he, like, picked up the game quite a lot. And he slapped me. So I'm going to have to beat you Intensity, sorry. From there. Well played, good sir. Let's update the scoreboard. That was 2-1. A nice little comeback by Intensity. But we'll move that back down to a 0 as he is replaced with Turin. And then we will change the other scoreboard back to a 0, and that will be replaced by Logic. Well played to Samurai, put up a fantastic show, and that game 1 as well, like, really showing the weakness of, like, sitting back in the early game. I mean, it can work, of course. It nearly worked. He nearly capped that objective, but left it a tiny bit too late. Intensity had pushed there. It could have been a nice first game for him. But Samurai, likewise, a very experienced tournament player, and a very lovely dude as well. He also has a YouTube channel. All these guys today are content creators, so please do check them out. We have the Mighty Logic, the Mighty Turin, the Mighty Samurai, which does go by the name Clan Liego, which is an Italian channel. Intensity also does some really cool stuff. A lot of single-player stuff nowadays, but also a load of good, like, I suppose, like, tips and tricks for multiplayer, I guess, would be a good way of putting it. Yes. Okay, Intensity, let's go grab food. No worries. No worries. So let's go. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rebane. Thank you so much, dude. Awesome. I've been setting the games. We are seeing some ogre action. So game 1, I believe Turin's coming out with ogres. I believe he is. So let's switch the map to Broken Leg Gully. And I think, guys, you guys are getting your wish. Turin, the people's champion, coming in with the Ogre Kingdoms. So you are going to be seeing them. We have Ogre Kingdoms up against Logic's Nurgle, and he does main Nurgle. He's pretty scared of them for sure. I haven't really done this matchup much, so I'm interested to see how it goes. I would call it multiplayer science. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know if Turin's website's up yet. I'm very excited to delve into it when it goes live, though. I'm definitely going to be hosting channels on there. Thank you so much, Wicked. You're a champ, man, for linking the channel. Yeah, Turin's pretty good with Nurgle as well. He's good with, like, honestly, every faction. When I first started training and, like, playing the game, I was chilling out in chat with Samurai Warrior, and he was like, you know, this game's a lot about, like, decision-making now as well. Like, you know, you got to sit there and you got to think a little bit, okay, I need to bring this in to counter this. And he's like, apart from when you're going to Turin, because you don't have any time to think when you're going to Turin, because he's all over your army the entire day long, and it's pretty tough to face him. So these guys have played once before, yesterday on Turin's stream, which was good fun. I also played on that stream. It was an awesome event. Load of, it was like a King of the Hill. Samurai Warrior was there. Kicked my butt. We played a Kislev mirror match with double elemental bear. It was glorious. And there's going to be a bit of a rematch here between these guys. Best of 3. Anything could happen. And the winner gets the honor of facing against the god himself, Intensity. I don't know anyone currently on early access who can oppose him, but these two guys, I'm sure, can put up a good scrap. And I've seen them beat him as well before, so it is definitely possible. It will be a best of 5, though. Duck, what Warhammer 2 factions will be exceptionally powerful in the game mode and who not? Benedict, I honestly think almost every single game 1 and 2 faction is going to be better than every single Warhammer 3 faction when they first get moved in, simply due to the fact they all have DLCs and way more variety in units. There may be 1 or 2 exceptions who are, like, you know, a little bit worse or whatever, but I think when all the Warhammer 2 factions come in, they're going to be super freaking scary to start with. Like, super scary. And then it will balance out as the game goes on. As it goes on. Ogre Gunline versus Nurgle could be deadly. 100%. 100%. The cannons, the iron cannons are super spooky. Super spooky. But I believe in you guys. Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I was very tired before the stream. I haven't slept well. But you guys have got me, like, energized. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready for the carnage. Mr. Wizard says, my pride is on the line. You have to win. You must win. Do this for the wizard, and the wizard should bestow upon you a mighty gift, I'm sure. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, though. Feel free to like and subscribe and all that standard stuff, but today's not really about me. It's not even really about the stream. We've gathered these mighty warriors to fight in the honor of charity today. We are raising money for Macmillan's cancer support team, which are doing an awesome job helping people recover both physically and mentally from suffering from cancer. And a family friend of mine, very dear to my heart, did unfortunately have to go through cancer last year and was able, luckily enough, to recover with their help, and has decided to run a half marathon, which is absurd. Like, most people, once you've had, like, cancer, would, like, take a year off, you know, and get back your strength. And instead, no, she's kind of come back and, you know, got really fit again and decided that, hey, I'm going to run a half marathon to try to raise money. And that is the plan today. We are raising money for that. There's a link in the description to how you can donate. Feel free to leave her a message. Just say quack. She doesn't know that I'm doing this yet and that I'm trying to raise some money for her. Her goal was to reach £1,500. We have reached 1,200 and something so far, which is crazy, which she's raised, and I want to kind of push her over the edge to go up and get that goal she was aiming for. So if you do want to donate, if you'd normally donate to the channel during a live stream, instead of donating to me today, please do donate via that link instead. You do not need to make an account or anything. You can leave a message. Just leave a message saying quack, because it would confuse them, and I think it would be very funny. And if for whatever reason in your country you can't send money to them or whatever, because some people are messaging me saying they're having problems, shoot me a message on Discord and we can get it sorted via PayPal and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be plugging that quite a bit, obviously, as we go. But let's kick off this second best of 3. Very excited to see how this goes. Coffee quacks. Seedslayer, I need to get, like, addicted to coffee, if I'm being honest. I don't like the taste of coffee. But yeah, I've been a little cheeky bit of an insomniac the last, like, month or so, sadly. But I actually have an operation tomorrow, like a small one, like it's nothing to worry about. But I won't be here, unfortunately, on release day for you guys. I'm really sad about. I wanted to do a big live stream, but I will be over the next couple of days. But they have to pay me under for it, and I'm looking forward to the sleep. It's like, oh yeah, hurry up! I want to go to want to go to bed from it. My dad survived cancer in his 50s, and I'm taking my grandpa to his cancer treatment on Friday. Lots of cancer in my family. Thanks for those who donate. Ryan, my sincerest, like, best wishes to your family there, man. I honestly hope you get through it, dude. I hope you get through it, man. It's a really rough time, I know. It's a horrible disease. I do feel like Matthew, Norska is going to be pretty terrible. I feel like Norska will be terrible on release, but we'll see. When one is a dark, one goes quack quack for sure. Caffeine pills are cheaper. Yeah, like, it might be a better idea. I don't know. I'd rather just, like, sleep, you know, but I don't know. I'm a weird duckling like that. Anyway, let's delve into this. So, for the forces of Logic, being the People's Champ, bringing in Nurgle, his beloved. He's a Nurgle main, though, so don't get it twisted. He can be quite scary with them. We do have a couple units of Forsaken, as well as, I believe, triple Nurglings. There are 4 units of Nurglings and triple Forsaken. We then have Kugath, Plaguefather, the Mighty himself. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Look at him. He is so glorious. Coming in with the standard typical spells, I'm assuming. We have the Plaguefather's Aureation. Stream of Corruption, very good spell. We have Fleshy Abundance, which is the regrowth, and Miasma of Pestilence, all good stuff, and it's going to be healing up quite considerably. For the forces of the Ogre Kingdoms, we do have 1 Gorger on the far side. In fact, 2 Gorgers, 1 on either flank. Gorgers, very, very competitive and good. They just rip and tear anything asunder. We have triple Ogre Balls with dual weapons in the center, and Scrag the Slaughterer. Now, Scrag the Slaughterer, I think it was turned on his stream, actually, he said he's a little bit like a T-Rex with his little stubby arms, and I agree, he looks pretty funny, but he's coming in with the spells I think I like to bring on him as well. We have the Ball Gorger, actually, something I don't often bring. We then have none of the healing spells, which is interesting. Then again, he doesn't have a giant like I normally do tend to take, and we have the Iron Blaster. So Iron Blaster is limited to 1, I believe. In most tournaments, it's going to be limited to 1. It is by far and away the most powerful unit in the entire game at the moment, I would say. It just does so much damage. You can double shoot it as well, of course. That's not going to be allowed in tournaments and hopefully should be fixed, like, kind of on release anyway. But yeah, the Iron Blaster is pretty scary stuff. Pretty scary stuff. Yeah, who are you guys rooting for here? Thank you so much, man. Saying you are enjoying Domination mode. It's really cool. Yeah, who you guys rooting for? You rooting for the Underdog Logic or the Mighty Turin coming with the Steel Ogre Chair? It's hard to root against Ogres, but likewise it's hard to root against Nurgle. Weird tactic about Logic. He's actually going to be trying to push his opponent's home objective. I think Kugath's best kind of like sat on the middle, but it seems like he does want to contest it up against the Ogres. And Ogres are one of those factions, one of the few factions which can kind of grind up against the forces of Nurgle. Now, we do have some Chaos Furies being summoned. They're going to apply a lot of pressure to the Iron Blast and just force it off the field. So I like that pick there coming in from Mr. Logic. Down on objective 3, we do have a load of Forsaken. I got a feeling what Logic's going to do is actually leave one Nurgle behind and then push down for a rear attack with the rest of his troops and try to pincer this ground force whilst applying pressure to the Iron Blaster with the Chaos Furies, which might not honestly be a bad idea, and it seems like that's what he's trying to do. Coming in with the old flankety flank. Unfortunately, Nurgle, not the swiftest faction in all the realms, so they are kind of being quite a slow flank and sneaky play. We do have the Gorges of Turin hidden up here in the trees. They have Stalk, so the opponents won't be able to spot where they are, and they can come down and claim objective 3. That is a really lovely play by Turin, rather sneaky stuff indeed. Chaos Furies are able to force off the Iron Blaster, but they are counterpunched by Iron Guts. Oh, baby. Iron Guts, yes. The double mighty clubs and scythes and swords of the Ogres. Yeah, they're going to quite comfortably beat back the Furies there. And we do have the big fight going down in the middle. So we have some glorious... Oh, no, though. We have the Maw. The mighty Maw rips apart the triple Nurglings. They will be getting held up by Kugath, which is obviously quite nice. We do have Scrag the Slaughterer coming into the fight. And Miasma Pestilence does go down, though, nuking a lot of the stats of these Ogres. And the Forsaken doing a decent job. Likewise, we have Spawn coming in. And the double Forsaken rear attack. Turin is running for his life. Get the hell out of here, lads. We're about to be swamped. And I do like the attempt from Nurgle. It is probably the worst faction to do a flanking maneuver with, apart from maybe Dwarfs. But I think all the Nurglings are going to die here. Forsaken are still standing strong, though. We have more Forsaken starting to pile in with more Nurglings. Damage value is massively in favor of Turin right now, but you're kind of expecting that against the forces of Nurgle anyway. Gorges are able to jump on the Nurglings. We have a second unit coming, but Gorges are a fantastic counter to the Nurglings in general. Should be able to rip and tear them apart, and Objective 3 is going to take a while before it gets back in Nurgle's hands. Objective 1 is well and truly Ogres, and Objective 2 is hotly contested right now. It does seem like it's going in favor, though, of the forces of Nurgle. Kugath Plaguefather going to be retreating backwards a little bit. You can see a lot of the Gorges getting worn down here. I like the Forsaken pick. Though they don't have anti-large or anything, they dish out so much damage, you don't really have to worry about that much armor coming in from the Ogres. So middle objective is held by Nurgle, at least for now, but the Plaguefather getting smacked on by the Iron Blaster, which is going uncontested at the moment, and this is smart by Turin, right? So you get the Saber-Tusk pack, and you hide them near your Iron Blasters. Saber-Tusk pack rip apart Furies very quickly. So it's a good counter to Furies in general. Objective 3 is being hotly contested. Nurglings are eventually going to be able to grind down the Gorges. We also have some Plague Toads hippity-hoppity in their way to Objective 3 to commit violence in any manner they see fit. Kugath's struggling a little bit. Not many factions can kill Kugath, but I think the Ogres are certainly one with the help of the Iron Blaster, which is unleashing deadly salvos down. They don't have friendly fire as well, but hey, friendly fire is part of the Ogre culture. Ogre Balls are pushing in, destroying Nurglings, doing a decent job. Chaos Spawn holding back the enemy. Scrag the Slaughterer getting in there and dishing out the pain. Bit of a misplay maybe by Turin here. He's actually moving in with his Saber-Tusks. And kind of abandon the Iron Blaster just as Logic summons some Chaos Furies to go deal with them. But now we have the Lead Belchers in action, and oh my god, do these guys bring just so much damage to the battlefield. Gonna be lacing some shots hopefully towards Kugath, who is looking to go down in the early game. This is something that never happens to Kugath. Fleshy Abundance has been popped on him, and he's healing up quite effectively now here in the mid. He's the tank. He's actually quite a good pick. I don't think Kugath's as terrible as people make him out to be, but there's a few matchups I wouldn't bring him in. Ogres is certainly one. Tzeentch is the other. Objective 3 still been fought over. Saber-Tusks are pushing onto the Plague Toads. Gorges are starting to go down. We have more Nurglings just swarming over. We need to see some Forsaken or something with a bit of punch to really claim that home objective for Logic, because he has now lost the middle, and the Furies giving up their chase on the Iron Blasters. Going to be pushing in to try to deal with the Lead Belchers, but once again, Turin, Tactical Reserve, Saber-Tusk pack. And I know we make a joke a lot about Tactical Reserve, not like being like, oh, you've forgotten your troops. In this game mode, you actually do want Tactical Reserves. It works quite nicely. And it looks like they're going to react relatively quickly and help protect the Lead Belchers, who take considerable damage though. We'll be going down to about half HP, which is not good news for them. Kugath as well is starting to decimate a lot of the Noblar forces that are approaching. We have more Furies being summoned in by Logic, but he needs to get some ground troops on the objectives as well. Iron Guts going toe-to-toe with the spawn of Nurgle relatively successfully. More Forsaken have been summoned as well. Got some Forsaken from Logic in the back who needs to get active again. He is starting to lose Objective 3 though, his home objective as Nurgle, which is a disaster. The hippity-hoppities getting slashed, ripped, and rendered apart. The Gorges are so beautifully modeled, and they are just crushing down on the poor Nurglings. And it is looking really bleak in the early days for Nurgle. And personally, I think Nurgle, if you get a good lead, it's really hard to beat you. If you get a bad start, it's really hard to come back. They're one of those factions which swings one way or the other. Lead Belchers are unleashing hell upon Kugarth. He's a meaty boy, though. He's been taking shots all day. We've had the Iron Blaster shooting him. We've had the Lead Belchers shooting him. And Kugarth just doesn't really give a damn. He just keeps healing up. We actually have 2 units of Lead Belchers now. I like this play by Turin. Use your range to dominate the middle, and then just pour in Noblars to cap the objectives. It's very smart indeed. Now, Kugarth is holding on a little bit in the middle, taking a lot of damage. Nice cast, though. Good stream of corruption. Going to be going down the Iron Guts, as well as the Noblars doing some okay damage. Scrag the Slaughterer is kind of given up, trying to kill Kugarth now, who is getting close to his healing cap at the moment. We have Forsaken pushing in on Noblars, which is a nice counter in the late game to the Noblar push. And Chaos Furies are ripping apart Iron Blasters. The back lines, Lead Belchers still going strong. Curse the Slug has been popped on them as Furies attempt to jump them. Once again, Turin just so snappy with that Saber Tusk pack play. He's holding it down, and he's got the juicy triple cap. I don't think there's too much logic he's going to be able to do here, as the Ogres are just beating the living snot out of Nurgle. We've got Forsaken moving up to take down the Saber Tusks and the Ogre Balls. They will do a lot of damage, but it's 1 unit versus 4. I don't think they're going to have enough weight to tear through all these units, and even if they do, it's going to take them so long that they're going to be quite behind now. So obviously, we do have the combat mechanic still. We actually can see the combat mechanic in action. So losing compensation right now is up to 7, which is pretty juicy, and that's because he's behind by so much. Like, it's nearly 265 to 2,650. It's insane. So he's getting quite a lot of losing compensation here. Again, 7 extra resources, which helps. The problem is Turin is over doubled the gold damage value, so he's been getting more money probably than even Logic is with that losing compensation, which is kind of crazy. Why I think damage is the most important thing. Iron Blaster, as well as the Lead Belchers, are enough to drag down Kugarth in the center. Fury's getting ripped apart by the Lead Belchers long range, and I think that is going to be game. Objective 1, well and truly Ogre Kingdom. Nothing that's going to be able to push in from the forces of Logic or Ogre Balls pushing his spawn even there. Lead Belchers have the middle nice and secure. Scrag holding Objective 2. Look at the amount of Ogres we have in here. We still have the Iron Blaster as well. And Objective 3, it looks like very briefly Logic started to get it back, but there's just a nice mid-game push by Turin. Has been pretty devastating. We have Chaos Spawn bomb rushing up into the blinding snow, attempting to drag low the evil forces of the Ogre Kingdoms who have ruined their day today. And it looks like Logic is going to be fine to the end, though. More Forsaken coming in, and he should be able to push through and get towards his home objective once more, but that doesn't really matter at this point because he's so far behind. Now, the Chaos Fury is doing good work. I think the best play here for Logic is, cap Objective 3 back to stem the tide a little bit, and then only choose good engagements, like fall back with your Nurglings and all your other troops, and try and amass one big push where you triple cap, because he's going to have to triple cap Turin now for the majority of the rest of the game to get back into it. He is going to start claiming Objective 3, but the more Ogre reinforcements rotating from Objective 2 out to Objective 3 to apply a bit more pressure. We have Gorges, we have Ogre Balls, Noblars, Scrag the Slaughterer, who's been slowed by the Curse of the Slug. He's already pretty sluggish anyway. More Chaos Spawn being pushed up here. Forsaken moving into the Meat Grinder, and it is a big scrap for Objective 3 now. Nurgling's going to be falling back as Logic attempts the big one-sided push there. The Lead Belchers, it's going to be very interesting to see their damage value at the end of this. Them and the Iron Blaster have ruined Nurgle today. Looks like we are getting some kind of spell go down. Oh, it is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those poor Forsaken are going to get fed to the Great Maw. The Great Maw is hungry. We've got Chaos Spawn pushing up, Fury's pushing up, but it's not going to be enough. 4,600. How much more reinforcements are we getting? So 14 losing compensation, but that's when you're pretty much, almost 5,000 to nothing. So that's kind of the most value you're going to be getting. And at that point, it's normally game over. The Lead Belchers being pretty solid in the middle, and the Iron Blaster holding it down. Turin can afford to just slowly stream over Ogre units to slow down Objective 3. Now, of course, eventually Logic will be able to get this objective back. But as long as he can slow him down, it doesn't matter because he only has to hold on for so long. But a masterclass there in Ogre play by Mr. Turin. GG's. GG's indeed. Logic broke my heart. He picked Nurgle. He was a Chad. He picked Nurgle, man. Yeah, this is blind picks, guys. This is blind picks for sure. Yeah, Nurgle are very tanky. They're like, if they get a good early engagement, they're a pain in the ass to get off the objectives. If they get a bad early engagement like here, it's so hard to get back on them. 1,300 value on Kugarth with 42 kills. Forsaken did okay across the board. They were summoned in multiple times, though. And I think just the early game went so badly that it was just the Nurglings couldn't get back into the fight. 992 damage value on the spawn is pretty solid. Anything else performed really well? Not crazy. Forsaken, all Forsaken. Chaos Furies did okay. 697 value, 755. But Turin's Forces, my god, that damage value is insane. 1,100 value on Scrag the Slaughterer. Gorger's 1.7 and 1.2k value of 106 and 80 kills. 4,000 gold value on the Iron Blaster. If you allow this unit to shoot all game, it will get into the 4,000 to 5,000 value. I've seen that happen, and it's rather scary. Ogre Balls are relatively cheap and cost-effective, just doing their job. I like the pick of the Iron Guts as well, and a bit more meat and stability in the center for the Ogres. 900 value on them is obviously pretty damn juicy. Nothing else too crazy. Now we get to the Lead Belchers. 1.3 and 840 damage value. Yeah, very good play. And also showing the power of range units, right? Showing the power of range units in this game mode. They can be really quite powerful, obliterating your opponent off the objective. Up next, we do have Galleon's Cove, which is a fan favorite of mine. As far as maps go, it is rather beautiful stuff. Ah, lovely sip of the drink. I believe Turin's Nurgle now. I'm not sure what Logic's going to be going. Let me quickly hop out. Yeah, Turin's Nurgle. And it looks like Logic is Tzeentch, which is very good for Tzeentch, though. Let's quickly update the scoreboard. Turin is 1-0 up. And the winner of this will go on to face Inticity, which promises to be a pretty legendary scrap. So, let's hop back in. And we're all good to go. So it is Nurgle versus Tzeentch. Should be good fun indeed. Should be good fun indeed. Ryan Roberts says, I love Dom. I'll never go back with this awesome mode. It's really good fun, Ryan, honestly. I'm having a good time with it. And Jesse says, you missed regular battles. I will do regular battles, don't worry, guys. Honestly, at the moment, I'm just having too much fun with Domination that I've played, I think, a grand total of like under 10 land battles since I've been on early access. It's not been much whatsoever. But, you know, when I start getting some good replays for them and stuff, I'm sure I'll get some mojo to do them again. But at the moment, I don't have that much motivation to play standard battles, just because I'm enjoying Domination mode a bit too much. I'm kind of all about it. It's all I'm thinking about at the moment. But don't worry, there will be replays for both. And there will also be, of course, tournaments for both. Although, particularly at the start, the majority of mine will be Domination. Assuming I'll do some like funner ones on pitch battles and stuff. And yes, it is blind picks for those asking. It is indeed. It is my turn to Nurgle now against Tzeentch, says Turin. So it is actually a possible matchup. It's pretty rough. I think what Nurgle has to do is go super Chad aggressive. Like, get all the Toads, get all the Forsaken, get all the Spawn, and you just bomb rush Tzeentch as hard as possible. The air core can be really nasty to deal with as well. And then you support with like rock flies and stuff. Mr. Zinski's Fartoons, how's it going, champ? I loved your recent video. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Cool, just catching up on chat there. I love that Giant Survival now. Ogre Giant Survival for sure, because they have healing. I don't know if the other Giants will be as much, but they do pretty good. They do pretty good. Quack for the Quack God. Quacks for the Quack God indeed. What's up, Jackson North? How's it going, champ? Hope you're all good. All good in the hood. Going a little sip of my drink to save my voice. Oh, I've got some stuff to show off. So this isn't really relevant to the stream, but CA, like, well, like, where do you live? Where do you live right now? Tell me where you live. Where is she? Where's Rachel? Type them. I was like, oh god. So I gave them my address, and they sent me a load of cool stuff for the release of Warhammer 3. I've had it for like a week now, but I haven't been able to show it off. So let me very quickly, as these guys are sorting out their builds, let me show you. Ooh, is that me? Oh my god, you're gonna see me in my horrible tired state. I'm wearing like an official Total War Warhammer glorious t-shirt here, but I got sent a little message from Creative Assembly saying, with the launch of Total War Warhammer 3, we just wanted to thank you for your continued support and content over the last few years. We hope you enjoyed this launch kit, and we can jointly thank Intel for providing their 12th gen Intel Core like processor, which basically got sent. See you in the realms of chaos, the Total War influencer team, which was really awesome. So, in the back, hopefully, and you can't see it. No, you still can't see it. No, you still can't see it. There's a flag. I have a Total Warhammer 3 flag, which I'm actually going to my very first Comic-Con, and I was thinking of wearing it as a cape, which would be really funny. But they also sent me a freaking Intel Core processor, which I had no idea what it is. Turns out it's very cool. And I need to find a professional to install into my PC before I break everything. Oh. And also, they sent me like an art book of all the art from Total War Warhammer, which I appreciate because I'm a big fan of art in general. And it's signed by the guy who did it, like a signed picture as well. So, loads of cool stuff. So, sorry to derail the stream there, but I wanted to show that off there because honestly, it's the coolest stuff I've ever received as like a present from like a company or something. Games Workshop once sent me like a model and like a shirt and stuff, which is still very cool, and like a notepad. Yeah, Creative Assembly just like randomly out of the blue sent me a load of freaking awesome stuff. Yeah, flag, t-shirt, an art book with a signed painting as well from like the guy who does the art for the games, which is honestly the art for the games. And like a processor for my goddamn PC, which is like triple as good as my one. It's insane. They sent me like a full like processor. I was honestly like low-key in shock. Like I was trying not to have like a panic attack when I got like sent. I was like, oh, I don't know what this is because I don't know what like I'm not that techno savvy. Like I don't really know what this processor is. I looked it up and I was like, holy crap. Okay. So yeah, massive shout out to Creative Assembly for sending that stuff in. It's wild stuff. Why isn't Cafe very good in my player? Cafe's fantastic in standard battles. I think they're actually pretty good in domination. It's just they're going to be the hardest to learn. I think they've got potential to be good, but at the moment, yeah, they are by far the weakest. They don't have much weight on capturing objectives. I don't think Celestial Dragon Guard are very good. The crossbowmen are fine, but anyway, back to the battle. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was all very cool stuff, and it's really cool as well that Creative Assembly are kind of, I don't know, like, for one, know who I am, but also, like, supporting, like, a tiny little channel like mine as well, because it does give you, like, a lot of motivation to keep going, although you guys are my main motivation as well. Been really enjoying all the support with Warhammer 3 so far. It's been quite overwhelming and really lovely. But anyway, back to the battle, and let's do what we do. So, Mighty Force of Logic coming in with triple blue horrors, as well as a double Forsaken of Tzeentch. We have Kairos Fate Weaver, been very popular today. I'm a bigger fan of the basic Lord myself, the Exalted Lord of Change. Normally one of metal, but coming with the Pendulum, we have the Blue Fire, and we have the Regrowth, as well as all the good items and abilities, and one unit of Doom Knights. For the Forces of Turn, yeah, this is 100% what you should be doing. Oh, he's taking him in the air. Okay, this is not what I've been thinking. I like taking this guy on foot in certain matchups. He's very tanky on his little chair. But we have Plague Drones of Nurgle. Oh, hell yeah. We've got Rotflies. We have Plague Drones. We have double Furies, as well as double Forsaken. So Nurgle attempting to take the air kind of fight here. Hair of Nurgle. And these wing animations, whoever decided to do this wing animation is a straight up gangster because they look so good. They remind me of the Thopters out of the recent Dune movie. And I just love it. It's almost like paint strokes going up and down. Very cool stuff. The usual spells on the Herald. Can you guys hear, like... It sounds like they've got, like, little Air Force noises. That's so weird. Cool, anyway. Back to the battle. So it looks like both players are getting a little aggressive. Nurgle going to rotate up and around to objective 1, maybe. They don't want to contest the middle against this, because holy crap is Logic coming in for vengeance. Look at this force. Forsaken and row upon row of blue horrors march into the battle drums of the Lord of Change. That's going to be some crazy stuff for sure, but it's got to be careful now. The Doom Knights can't really commit to a fight because they've got to protect Fate Weaver. This is quite punishing, this air core. If he had a metal caster, it would have been a bit better because he has Final Transmutation to help protect himself, plus he's a lot tankier in combat. So I do fear for Kairos Fate Weaver unless we get some more Furies or Doom Knights summoned into the battle. So Nurgle going to be pushing up to objective 1. The reason this is probably my favorite map, apart from the fact it looks just insane, it's quite unique in the fact both players have a mid objective. They then share a home objective. It's equal distance apart, and then they both have one that's extra far away from them. So it's quite a nice map. It's a little bit different from what you normally see. Now, Tzeentch pin all their force into the middle objective, and Nurgle are like, cool, I don't care. I'm not taking that. What I'd actually like to see Tzeentch do is split their force into 2 and then trap and ensnare this force, which could be really nasty. We do have a couple of Furies on the battlefield. Furies will do okay against Plague Drones, I would think, and Rotflies, but they definitely want the support of the ground forces shooting up and trying to get nice and aggressive with Nurgle now, trying to just gobble up as much ground as possible, which is very key. You should definitely do this with Nurgle. Early stage, if you've got the potential, grab as much of the map as possible, because you're not going to be able to do it too well late game unless you really dominate. With a Cultist Nurgle summoned here in the middle, just hiding out, vibing, ready to summon some troops in, and Nurglings going after objective 3. They will be met by Blue Horrors, though, and the Blue Horrors will quite comfortably overwhelm the Nurglings. The air fight does seem like it's inevitable. It seems like Logic's really quite scared of the air fight. He's got potential, but maybe with the Doom Knights and a Regrowth on top of them, he's got a chance here. Or if he can summon one more unit of Furies, I would take this fight in the sky, but it's certainly going to be very scary stuff. Or he needs ranged troops to help support from the ground in the form of the Blue Horrors, because they can certainly do that. Hippity-hoppities have been summoned by Turin, moving over towards Objective 3. Looks like Blue Horrors are actually being brought back to try to ensnare some of this range force, and Tzeentch are just legging it. We don't want to scrap with these boys. They are way too scary to mess with here. So we have more Furies being summoned, and I think the fight's inevitably going to happen. You can see one unit of Furies has been caught. We have the double summon coming in, though. More Furies. Fate Weavers getting in here. The Doom Knights need to be aggressive, though. The Doom Knights have to take this fight if it's going to be up in the air here. The blue fire goes in, does decent damage to enemy Chaos Furies. Favor looks like he doesn't really want to get engaged, so we're just seeing a few, like, dribbles of Furies coming in here. He definitely wants to move in and fight with the Doom Knights, particularly with his shield popped on him. He can do a lot of work. Pink Horrors have been summoned. This is a nice counter-punch coming in by logic, and they'll be able to rip and tear into this Air Force. You can see a lot of it's taking significant casualties now. More Furies are on the approach, though, and it looks like Nurgle again, not actually capping Objective 1. One unit's going back to do that. It looks like they forgot about it. More Forsaken of Furies are on the warpath, however, and we are about to see a big spell come down. I think this is the heal from Nurgle. It is. Fleshy Abundance going to be healing up this air core. Very smart stuff indeed. Doom Knights are committing to the fight. They probably should have jumped these Furies, though, who are now going to circumvent them and hit the Pink Horrors, are doing some devastating damage. My god, the Pink Horrors are laying it on thick in the air. Furies, Doom Knights. We also have some of the glorious Screamers of Tzeentch, aka the Flatfish. This is just such a haggard air fight in the skies. Now, Objective 3 is going to get golded up. Blue Horrors are on the approach, but likewise are the Plague Toads. Objective 2 well and truly secured, though, for Logic, who takes an early lead coming in with the tickets. Sky fight is going to be pivotal. I do love Doom Knights. They have some pretty freaking awesome animations and quite a nice counter to the majority of what you see from Nurgle in the sky, though the armor pierce of the Rotflies can certainly help once you start to run out of those shields. Chaos Fate Weaver, imagine a Final Transmutation right now. Like, it'd be... I really do honestly prefer the basic generic Lord here than Fate, even though Fate was very cool, and Pendulum can be scary against Nurgle. I don't know if it's going to be as viable. Now, the Doom Knights pinning a lot of troops. The healing potential on all these Rotflies and Furies is massive, and it does look like the Pink Horrors did just about get saved there by some Blue Horrors, so a lot of friendly fire coming in. Looks like it was an even trade down here on the ground. Objective number 3. Looks like we may have an early Pendulum come down. Unfortunately, it did miss kind of the majority of the Nurglings there. It did bounce off that bit of terrain, which is quite a cool addition to the game. Blue Horrors are going to lay it on thick, but Objective 3 is looking pretty Nurgly right now. But however, with this Blue Horror reinforcements, if Turin's not careful, he needs to push out here and push these guys away. They will really dish out the pain. Those 5 volleys, you think, oh, only 5 ammunition. How much damage can it do? A lot. It can do a lot. Objective 2 is a mighty scrap right now. It looks like Turin doing a big push to attempt to get a triple cap now that he has secured the Air Force pretty well. Blue Horrors are laying it on up into the skies. The Plague Drones are so tanky. It looks like they're getting held up once again by the Herald of Nurgle. I'm loving this Air Force Nurgle play. It is really dirty and really quite good. Now, the Doom Knights still find strong, though. They're very powerful. They've got the Screamers of Tzeentch coming in, and at least it's occupying the majority of Logic's micro in time, and that's meaning the other objectives are starting to fall to Turin. We have more Chaos Furies summoned. Looks like Forsaken versus Forsaken fights going on there. It looks like Tzeentch will be winning that rather comfortably. And the Fate Weavers having to move back to the middle. And he's going to come with a rather nasty Pendulum. Unfortunately, of course, Logic wouldn't notice unless he zoomed in. That was on this summoned unit of Plague Bearers who are going to disappear anyway. So dropping it on the Forsaken would have been much more profitable because they are capping the objective. Summons, like flyers, cannot cap objectives. Very close on the tickets at the moment. Damage value-wise as well. About 1.5k in the lead for Turin. He's been very good at kind of keeping to that and being quite dominant in damage in his game so far. And if you're damaged ahead with Nurgle, particularly after you've done all that healing, you know you're certainly winning the game. And things are looking good for Turin out of the gate. Your boy is doing us proud. Chaos Fury is getting dragged down. Plague Toads and Nurglings, though, should be enough to overwhelm the Blue Horrors here on objective number 3. Up in the skies, the fight is continuing. Chaos Furies, and looks like Chaos Furies are dead. Doom Knights survive. There's only 8 models left. And the Air Core, very close to his healing cap from Turin. He's really managed to milk them for as much value as possible. We're about to see yet another Pendulum go down, and oh, it's so disgusting. 50% of their HP just gone in a snap of the fingers. That is scary stuff for sure. Blue Horrors can be moving on to the middle objective. Up in the high ground, Chaos Furies are taking on the Nurgle Furies. Bit of a stalemate fight over here, which is good. Very good news for Turin, because he's obviously dominating at the objectives at the moment. Turin, guys, is a force to be reckoned with. I know he's known as kind of being like one of the best and biggest multiplayer casters in the game, but he is honestly one of the scariest players as well. Trust me, I've seen him take down some ridiculously good tournament players. Blue Horrors are approaching as well to bring the pain to the Plague Drones, and I've been very impressed so far, and in fact all stream by Turin's play so far. Likewise, Logic, though, is scrapping back pretty damn hard, and it looks like we've got a little bit of lag. Hold on, lads. Hold on. It seems like it is starting to settle there, which is good. Of course, Logic's from the UK and Turin's from America, so there's going to be a little bit of lag now and again, I'm sure. Big Fat Pendulum goes down on Nurglings. It is not quite enough to one-shot that unit, but it would be enough to get them off the objective, you'd hope, with, you know, one Blue Horror also coming in to support. Money-wise, it looks like they're both just kind of spending all the money they have. At this point, Logic should probably sit back and vibe a bit and try and build a giant force, but it's so hard against Nurgle, and this is what I mean. If Nurgle get a good start like this, if you sit back and build up a force to take them off the objectives, it's going to take you so long to do so, to get them off, that you probably won't be able to triple cap your opponent. Flies coming in, they're jumping on the Blue Horrors who are not having a good day. A load of the grenades are being launched in, but the Toads as well as the Mighty Flies in some pretty big damage. It is a trap though, set by Mr. Logic here. This is going to be devastating. Oh no, run, Turin, run! Ooh, this is so much damage. That's a dead unit of Forsaken, a dead unit of Nurglings, a probably dead Pox Riders as well here. Oh my god, that is a devastating bait there coming in by Logic, but is it going to be enough? That certainly helps him on the gold damage slightly, but he is now well and truly triple capped, and Turin's just all over the place. We're about to see a really nasty cast though. Holy crap. Holy crap, that was good. So he pinned the first unit of a spell, and then timed it so that when the second unit came over them, both took damage. That was an absurd amount of damage. That nearly caught Logic up on the damage value with that one cast. Absurd stuff, but you know, it needs to be a triple cap now, and that's going to be super rough. Spawn Tzeentch and Furies are slowly beating their way through Turin's forces, although he's done a good job with his Furies just keeping the opponent off the objectives as long as possible. Fate Weaver's still alive, despite the massive air core from his opponent coming in. Blue Horrors, everything is trying to push just one objective right now. Objective 3 and 2, well and truly secure for Nurgle at the moment. And it looks like he is going to come up here and contest and fight for objective number 1. Now we have Spawn Bomb rushing in. Spawn will do a decent enough job, though. Forsaken, they're kind of going to cancel each other out a bit and just rip each other to shreds really quickly. Both massive damage dealers here. We do have Furies pouring in, Fate Weavers pouring in, and a load of Blue Horrors. However, Turin's intercepting that pathway between Spawn and this objective for Logic. Now, the Blue Horrors getting ripped asunder. Pox Riders do seem like they're going to be going down. The Rotflies are on the approach as well. They're going to get jumped by some Chaos Furies, and this objective is still being held by Nurgle, it would seem. Blue Horrors are pushing in. Kyra's Fate Weaver is vibing up in the skies. Furies want to be jumping down on Nurglings and stopping them from getting in the battle. We also have more Forsaken who can be brought back there by Logic. It does seem like Turin may have forgotten about this. Oh no, it's a Nurgling. I thought it was still the same cultist, but summoning Nurglings, pushing towards objective 2, and it looks like this is going to be another juicy victory for Turin. He is on fire today. Damage value-wise, Logic isn't that far behind, but it all kind of came with this last push, right? So 11,000 damage value against 13,000. It's not great, particularly when you're Tzeentch against Nurgle and they have so much healing. But the mighty Nurgle Air Force simply too Chad for the Tzeentch. And that is a victory for Turin, taking this series 2-0. And, yeah, it's going to be a big final, a juicy final. Juicy stuff. Intisti v Turin. That's going to be a micro nightmare or dream, depending on who you are. Insane map control and pressure from Turin, 100%. And that's what experienced players are going to do. And I agree, Wicked. I think Age of Empires 4, when that game came out and people played it, they're going to do pretty damn good at this game. Pretty damn good at this game. It's insane. Likes for the like god. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, that was some insane micro. That was some wild stuff. Bees. Bees everywhere. Man, they are so scary. They are so scary. I was looking through chat a little bit, because I've obviously had to ignore you guys a little bit, because the game's been going so fast there. What's up, Rubik's Raptor, the champ of all champs, the greatest armor content creator in the realm, says the Nurgle Lord strikes again. He does indeed. GG's. GG's. That was insane. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Is Turin good at macro or micro? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. He's very good at both. Ogres seem balanced. Ogres aren't even the best faction in the game, my dude. They're very powerful, though. They're up there. Fate Weaver, 2.1k value, did a decent job for Logic. Likewise did the Doom Knights at 1,000 value. But elsewhere, majority of the other forces struggled. Blue Horrors did decent, but they were summoned multiple times. I like the inclusion of the Screamers of Tzeentch, but yeah, taking out the air game, 1k and 1k value on the Furies is really nice. The map control, once Nurgle, like, gobbles up all the land and starts controlling it, you're in trouble. So 1,000 value on the Herald of Nurgle. The air core, like, look, it doesn't do as much damage necessarily, even as Logic's, but it just holds. 1k value, 700, 999. The Fury's 740 and 930 damage value. Honestly, isn't that crazy compared to the Doom Knights and stuff, but it just pinned in a lot of Logic's like mobility, and Turin used that time to get map dominance. I love the Pox Riders. They're so freaking cool. 649 value on them. And the other Fury's 1,000 value, then just swarm the objectives of Nurglings. Really smart play, really good play. That was some top tier stuff. Top tier stuff. Yeah, Turin's a beast with it. Don't feel bad, Logic, honestly. You played good, man. You played good. You're the people's champ as well for bringing Nurgle in that first game. Nurgle Air Force was gangster. Nurgle Air Force was scary. It's gonna be some wild stuff, guys. We have Terran versus Anticity. This is gonna be the battle of just top talent. It's gonna be crazy. Wicked says I couldn't play Turin's army because I'd be zoomed out looking at the flies. Yeah, they look really awesome. In general, the majority of the models and stuff in this game, they've taken up a notch from game 2. What's up, Tariff? How's it going, champ? I hope you're all good today. Buzz indeed. Tomorrow we ride. Tomorrow we do ride. Unfortunately, I'll not be there with you guys. I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow. But hopefully I will be able to stream the next couple of days. It just depends. I don't know how long like recovery is going to take and stuff. We are going to be on Death Pass for the map today. Let's get the Mighty Meister in himself. Valhalla shall embrace me, says Logic. I agree. I agree. Let's see. Entity, can you see lobby now? It might be because we were in-game. If you can't see the lobby, don't worry about it. We'll redo the lobby. Eldrin the Mist, thank you so much, dude, for the donation. He says there's Tzeentch is the best and Nurgle is the worst, and yet this last game, Nurgle out-damaged Tzeentch 100%. Thanks for the donation, dude. Today, if you have new donations to the channel, please do donate them instead to the charity link down below. I'll just send your money across, man, to the charity. I'm going to do a donation at the end of the day anyway, and I'll just add your money to that. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, if you guys are going to donate today, please do donate. There's a link down below. Today we're raising money for Macmillan's cancer support. They help people recover from cancer, both mentally and physically. And a dear friend, family friend of mine, suffered cancer last year and was lucky enough to be able to survive and fight back with the help of this charity. And it's going to be running a half marathon at the end of the month to raise money and support for that charity. I've dropped you a link to her page. You can donate through there. If you're having troubles donating through there, send me a message on Discord. We'll do it through PayPal instead, and then I can send the money on forward. If you do donate, please do send a message to her just saying quack as well to confuse her, because she has no idea I'm doing this yet. I will obviously let her know tomorrow, but she might wake up just to a load of donations saying quack, which would be quite funny. But yeah, so I'd really appreciate it, guys. But thank you so much, dude, anyway, and I appreciate your question as well. Yeah, honestly, like, no faction in this game is, like, unplayable. I would argue Cathay's a bit worse. It is best of 5 turn. Best of 5. Sorry, I'm zoning out right now. Best of 5. Cool. Let me quickly grab the lobby code. I don't know how to do that. Where do I grab the lobby code from? I was going to invite player. Oh, cool. There you go. I have sent the code. If that doesn't work in Tisty, we'll just make a new lobby. Don't worry about it. The maps shall be Death Pass, Mountain of Morn, Crossing of the Sea of Claws, the Eye in the north, and then back to Broken Leg Gully if we go all the way around. And that'll be all the maps we'll have. I do hope they add new maps into the game, like, pretty early on after release, but my god, these maps are freaking good. And it's going to be pretty useful for at the start of the game, people to, like, learn maps and how to play on them. When you live in Netherlands, you cannot pay for a super chat because of your card. Yeah, Rabane was telling me the same thing, actually. And it's a turn saying his, I believe that's his website will be out midday, which is very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I will certainly, if you feel free to advertise on my Discord, I'll drop a link anyway to it. But that is where, yeah, for future reference, you guys want to play in tournaments, that is where I'll be hosting all my tournaments rather than on, like, challenge and stuff from now on. I can re-host lobby as well. Cool. Entity can't join, so he's going to restart his game. I'm just going to rehost the lobby. So, Churn, if you are listening, I apologize. You're about to be removed. But I will rehost the lobby. Call it Ducks Tournament Finals. It might be because I've been in spectator mode so long. It can be a little bit problematic. And the map was Death Pass, I believe. Let's get the new code. New code. And lobby. Hopefully we can get them loaded in. If not, I can always restart my game. But hopefully it doesn't come to that, because you guys will be staring at like a blank screen. Yeah, for sure, man. It's going to be crazy. I don't want to like spoil anything, so I don't know how much Turin's like told people of the website. So I'll leave that all like to him, but it sounds very exciting regardless. They can't find the lobby, I'll just ask one of them to host. Demera, can you host? If not, I will restart my game. Okay, well, lobby is up apparently. Failed to join selected game. Ah, weird. Come out and go back in. Yeah, it won't let me join. That is so bizarre. Cool, I'm going to close my game quickly, so you guys are probably about to see a blank screen. And I'm just going to restart my game. So I apologize about the blank screen. Internal screams. I'm still here. Don't worry about it. I'll just load back up the game. Looks like it is loading fine as well. Go. We're loading back up. We are loading back up. You want to donate? Yeah, the Netherlands, it doesn't seem like you can donate. All you need to do is, if you have PayPal, send it to my PayPal. Just have like the words charity in capitals or something sent to me, and I'll send it at the end, because I'm going to donate anyway, so I'll do it in one go. Quack for the duck gods! What's up? What's up, what's up, what's up? Cool. Hopefully you guys can see the screen. Yeah, I think it's on my end turn, so I'm loading up the game again. Oh! They've like updated a load of stuff. Let's play with Grand Cafe. What is this? This is cool. Oh, the pressure's on. Yes! We're in! We're in! Thank God. Okay, we're back. So, turn in to see. Please don't start. Maps are in the Discord. You need to be on the map Death Pass. There's Death Pass for this map. There's no chat box annoyingly on this, so I can't let them know, but... Let me shoot them a message. I am in. Map is Death Pass. Awesome. Thank you guys for sorting that out and being champs and bearing with me here. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a mini update randomly. Like, I don't think that was on the game when I loaded in. So we may have done a mini update mid-game, which could be why we were struggling to get in. But I hope you guys are enjoying the stream today. We've seen some pretty damn top-tier competitive games. And I'm very excited to see what these guys bring to each other. Like, Samurai Warrior, like, made Intisty sweat for it as well. Particularly in that first game. So, I'm pretty interested to see how this goes. Quack for the Quack Gods. Beaks for the Beak Throne. Oh, man. Are you guys excited for the Game of Thrones spinoff? I was like, I had like a little bit of a... I didn't hate the end of Game of Thrones as much as some people did. I don't think it was good. Or anywhere near as good as it should have been. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not that hyped for the Game of Thrones spinoff. And then I saw the like teaser trailer for it. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually a little hyped. It looks better than the... I don't know. How do you guys feel about the Lord of the Rings one that came out the other day? I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I have Lord of the Rings tattoos on me. And all sorts. Lots of people seem to hate the trailer. I didn't hate the trailer. Like, I didn't hate the trailer, but it looked a bit... I don't know how to describe it. like, I don't know how to describe it. It looked a bit CGI, like on people's faces and stuff, like a bit like waxy. I'm not sure what that is. But wait, let's delve into this. So, it is a best of 5 final, which is pretty scary stuff. And it is Chaos Fateweaver alongside the Lord of Change, which is pretty awesome stuff. So they're both going to be coming in with, we've got Pendulum and Harmonic Convergence on Fateweaver, and the blue and pink Fires of Tzeentch on the Lord of Change. We do have some Forsaken. We have Blue Horrors, Furies up in the skies as well. Nice, fast, mobile core, the way Intissi likes to play. And Turin, the Chad himself, brings my favorite faction right now, Bears of Kislev. We have a bucket ton of war sleds. Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including double heavy war sleds, which is obviously rather beautiful. Look at them go. Oh, the armor is so good. Heavy war sleds are freaking badass and underrated. We have Consultine leading the Bear Hordes, coming in with just the Lullaby, so going relatively cheap, just the healing. And it's going to be quite interesting because, hey, the war sleds are good and everything. There's shields on Tzeentch, and it can be quite problematic to actually hit through those shields with your long-range damage before they fly away. So we'll have to see how it goes. We do have some Gloria Armored Corsairs coming in as well and being summoned, maybe to hold and just contest Objective 3. We might have a chill time. Tissi likes doing this with his forces, just sitting back, hiding in some trees and waiting for the opportune moment to strike, which is certainly a valuable way of playing. And we've seen both the pros and the cons of it so far today. Light war sleds as well as the heavy war sleds continuing to vibe in the middle as much as possible and does not really take any engagements or fights just yet. They could whip obviously up and around and apply a little bit of pressure to the Air Force. I don't know if there's much point because the Air Force could just float over the rocks and retreat really quickly again. We have a little bit of lag. We've had both the plays on stream without any lag, to be honest, so hopefully the connection does stabilize a little bit here. I don't think it's on our end because the stream strength says it's still full strength, but who knows. So obviously it's probably those two trying to connect to me. War sleds just bouncing around. No one's sitting still for too long. Looks like Anticity has been a little bit sneaky. So some of them Forsaken and is going to push onto Objective 1. What I'm doing if I'm Turin is I'm waiting for him to get to about here. And I'm also going to beeline directly towards him. And, I know exactly where you are. I have war sleds. I'm faster. You cannot get reinforcements there in time. And it looks like he's doing just that. We do have a second summon from Anticity in the form of Pink Horrors. And that's kind of scary when Turin has so many war sleds just bomb rushing towards all these units. And now the war sleds are actually turning on Fateweaver, and they're able to, a nice juke coming by Anticity. Fantastic micromanagement from him, and the war sleds decide, you know what, we're going to run over your infantry because we simply cannot get through the shields of Anticity of good micro. And I think Tzeentch in the hands of an average player are going to be very good. Tzeentch in the hands of a top-tier tournament player, going to be disgusting. The light war sleds continue to pepper down where possible and just unleash hell upon the big bird and some decent damage. The light war sleds and heavy war sleds trying their hearts out here. The entire shield of Fateweaver is basically gone, but they're not able to actually do any consistent damage to him. With all the Furies floating over and all the other forces, it looks like it was a bit of a bait, and Anticity is able actually to get escort those Forsaken to Objective 1. He's now fallen back though, and no one's really gained or lost anything too much. Anticity's stacking a bit more resources, perhaps waiting to see what Turin does before committing to reinforcements. We have Armored Corsairs and it looks like 2 armored units pushing towards the home objective. We do have double Forsaken, single Forsaken and double Blue Horrors over here, plus the air squad. I think with a big push from light war sleds though, plus some of the infantry, they'd be able to cap it, but instead Turin rotating his forces back towards the middle and moving the light war sleds over to Objective 1, which is very smart. Very smart indeed. No worries. If you don't have PayPal, man, don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry about it, dude. Don't stress yourself out about it, but I appreciate the effort, dude. So the mighty heavy sleds and light sleds moving over to the left-hand side. We do have some Chaos Spawn being summoned, the Spawn of Tzeentch. Smart play, I think, by Anticity, as they're going to be able to intercept and do some decent damage to the light war sleds, who are currently getting lit on fire. Pink Horrors are no joke, and they can really stack up some decent damage. It looks like we are going to have a big fight in the middle, perhaps starting to come to fruition. Objective 2 is held by Turin. Objective 1, though, and 3 are both held by Anticity. It's going to be a tough time for him to hold Objective 3, though, particularly being so close here to Turin's base. He's got a load of infantry that are going to be pushing in to contest where possible. And it looks like so far Fateweaver and the Lord of Change is absorbing a bucket ton of damage from the heavy war sleds. And it's pretty rough stuff so far for the forces of... technically the gold damage values are a lot better so far from Kislev, but the majority of that's been on shields. So I don't think that's actually going to help them too much, too considerably. But it will be giving them, I guess, a bit more damage dealt, so they get a little bit more income for their troubles. and obviously they will eventually start getting that comeback mechanic as well if they are only holding the one objective. Now, the War Slaves seem to be splitting up, which could be a good play. Get a couple going to objective 1 and a couple to objective 3. If Turin allows Antiquity to settle on these objectives, it could be quite hard to game off them once again. With Winged Lancers being summoned, just waiting and vibing for the infantry to catch up, and then we're going to see a big push coming down on this third objective. The light warbear sleds and the heavy war sleds are on the approach. They're going to quite comfortably delete all this infantry. Winged Lancers moving in, and we've got a lot of bow and pistol fire also in the ground forces. Middle objective looks like we're going to have a big fight over here. Blue Horrors are rain shots down on the war sleds, and oh my god, Tzeentch's firepower is just disgusting. Look at the damage coming in. We do have some armored Corsairs here. We also have Constantine who can heal up these war sleds. They've not lost any models yet, so it might be worthwhile doing. Likewise, we have more bow fire being poured in, and it looks like the Chaos Furies are actually taking significant damage in the early stage, but objective 2, the only objective Kislev currently holds, is starting to turn in the glorious colors of the blue of Tzeentch. But objective 3, yeah, there is no way that Tzeentch is going to be able to hold on here, I don't think. Winged Lancers doing a decent damage. The war sleds have Bomb Rush Forsaken. We need 1 to also bounce out here to the Blue Horrors. With all this infantry coming in, the objective 3 will definitely be turning in favor of Kislev, but can they hold the middle? They are pouring in more and more armored troops. The light war sleds doing some pretty decent damage, and Turin is going far and away better on the gold damage value. Something we saw him do against Turin as well, rather successfully. But the Blue Horrors are laying on thick now to all these war sleds who really need to get in here and dish out the pain. But there is double spawn of Tzeentch, which is going to cause these light war sleds all kinds of problems, and I think quite a nice counter to the war sled meta, which is currently quite popular in the game. More Blue Horrors have been summoned, more Pink Horrors, as well as more Forsaken, all bomb rushing at that central objective. Objective 1, though, Turin is a crafty devil. He has the Dervishes moving out to Objective 1, looking to secure that. And Objective 3 is turning into the red of Kislev. Nasty Pendulum comes down, does big damage to the armored troops. The second unit also takes significant damage. Winged Lancers are forced off. The War Sleds will be able to move back, though they are needed in the main fight as Tzeentch pushes aggressively into the main melee. Forsaken are moving up, light war sleds attempting to dish out the pain with the Lord of Change, who is bumping and grinding oosh, 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 up against the light war sled before finally landing and jumping in and destroying his prey. Light war sleds, though, being kept alive by some good micromanagement of Turin, is now going to start pulling back with them, and the Kossars, as well as some Streltsy, are on activation now, and Turin likes doing this quite a bit, like having the range troops at the back and just pouring shots onto the middle objective. Still quite far ahead on gold damage, despite being behind on the capture points. He's about to capture perhaps 2 of them. Objective 3 is now all Kislev, and that is going to free up some war sleds to come fight for the middle, and Objective 1 is very contested. We have a load of Dervishes flooding down here. Looks like we're going to have triple units of the Dervishes. There is double Chaos Furies here, but they're not going to be able to do too much apart from soften up the Dervishes for some infantry to come in and claim this objective. So Turin scrapping back into the game nicely. A disgusting pendulum goes down on the cheap troops, just wiping them off the face of the earth. And yeah, the heavy war sleds and light war sleds going to come contest the middle, where Turin's doing a decent job with all of his ranged troops, but Antiquity is a crafty devil, and his spawn have been a real inspired pick in my opinion. Streltsy are moving forward a little aggressively here. Maybe want to turn their rifles onto Fate Weaver. They honestly might be able to drag him down here. He's in a bad situation right now. It does look like the war sleds are slowly grinding their way through the spawn of Tzeentch, and the middle objective could start turning once again into the favor of Kislev as Corsair Spears and Streltsy all move in to the objective. Constantine is able to push out Fate Weaver, and a big push coming in from the forces of Kislev. Objective 1 is currently in their favor as well, but I don't think for long. The Dervishes get annihilated. Furies use to pin in the light cavalry, and then they are smashed into death and dust by the glorious magics of Tzeentch. Now, it looks like Dervishes, they know they're dead. They're going to throw their bodies on the line to stop the enemy infantry pushing forward and hold on to their objective as long as possible. It's currently a double cap for Turin. He's also going for that middle objective. We have Pink Horrors, though. Streltsy just kind of vibing in the middle of the map. Heavy war sleds pouring in. Yeah, this middle objective is definitely going to be forming in favor of Kislev. Very close game so far. That damage value, the gold damage value, is really starting to add up for Turin and the forces of Kislev. And it looked rough for them at the start of the objectives, but played it smart, got the fights he could. Streltsy moving to hand-to-hand combat against Pink Horrors, which is absolutely insane. They're like, you know what, we don't want to use our guns. We're going to whip them around and turn them into axes and just start cleaving asunder the Pink Horrors. Bubbly flesh and pink fluid falls from them as the Streltsy get into hand-to-hand combat, showing the durability and versatility of Kislev as a faction. But the light war sleds are pulling back. Yes. So I'm just checking chat there. Looks like you guys are all good. Cool. Seems like everything is all good there. So I saw a load of questions and panicked and thought maybe I had a screen blocker up or something. Light war sleds and heavy war sleds going to be moving back here. This is really lovely pressure by Turin. Going to jump on these Forsaken and just stop them from getting anywhere near Objective 2. Fate Weaver's going to be bound and down, doing some decent damage. He will take a bit of punishment, though, as well, if he's not careful. With more Forsaken coming over and more Winged Lancers for the forces of Turin. And I love this play of the war sleds, just annihilating the enemy reinforcements. We see some spawn summoned by Anticity, but I don't know if they're going to get there in time. Lovely Winds of Magic being used, though. You can see the Lord of Change and some good work. Seems like Anticity's a big fan of going for multiple casters in games. The pink horrors are certainly going to get overwhelmed. We do have more Furies, and Anticity was eventually able to wrestle control of Objective 1, and he's going to leave some Spawn and Forsaken there. He doesn't want that to get back capped yet again. Could be quite disastrous. He's got the lead for now. But it is kind of falling quite quickly. 3,175 tickets to 2,600, and Objective 3 is still all Kislev. And you've got to be careful with Fate Weaver. He does pop the Oracle of Eternity, give him some nice damage resistance. But Winged Lancers are in here. We have Armored Cossars as well. And it seems like there's a big push coming in from both players, though. Forsaken getting run over by the heavy war sleds. There are some Spawn here and Furies being summoned. A vicious fight is going to ensure on Objective number 3. But it's a lot closer, of course, to the Kislev home base. And we have just bucket tons of Dervishes, Winged Lancers, all rotating back onto that. I think they were going to contest Objective 1, decide not to, and are going to contest Objective 3 once again. Damage value-wise is about 2,000 in the favor of Turin so far and Kislev. I love seeing top-tier Kislev play because I need to steal all their builds. Kislev is my favorite faction, but I'm definitely better with Khorne. Khorne's probably my best faction, and then maybe Tzeentch. Light War Sled's going to a lovely rear attack into the Forsaken, going to be dragging them low. Dervishes just pouring over as well, and it's got to be careful with this Lord of Change. I don't want to see him go down like this. Heavy War Sled's doing a decent job. We do have reinforcements on the way, though, particularly these Spawn of Tzeentch could be quite problematic. Furies are able to intercept the Winged Lancers and do some decent damage, though the Winged Lancers will win that. The other unit just needs to rotate up and around and claim Objective 3. Anticity definitely wants to apply pressure onto the mid. It seems like Turin was being a little bit cheeky and going after Objective 1, which is really smart play. And the Spawn, as well as Forsaken, are going to meet out to kind of match him. And we get double Blue Horror in the middle here. So we definitely want to see some more War Sleds from Kislev in the middle objective to counteract these bad boys. Good play by both players, though. You know, always thinking about other objectives rather than kind of getting solely focused on one. Do Tzeentch have enough to push through here? Do they have enough? They have two large scary birds, which can't cap objectives, but they can kill everything on Kislev's side, which can cap. And we still have Spawn of Tzeentch in here and Forsaken, but there's a lot of cavalry. And, oh, I don't know. I feel like Kislev will hold Objective 3, despite the amount of damage it's going to cost them. War Sleds are on the approach, and it looks like for the first time in the game, Turin is about to take the lead as far as tickets is concerned. But Anticity has got a big push going on into the mid here. Streltsy versus Blue Horrors in close combat is going to be pretty wild. Also, Constantine may get sniped here. He's trying his best alongside the Winged Lancers to take down the Spawn of Tzeentch and Forsaken. He is a bit of a beast in combat, but, you know, can get dragged down by superior forces and numbers eventually. And it looks like Anticity is starting to cap the middle objective once more. We do have a load of Winged Lancers pouring back, and this is really smart. It's like knowing when to pull back reinforcements. This is one for Kislev right now. And I think they can just keep pouring on like small units of infantry and it should be fine. So moving these war sleds and carry back to the middle is where the fight needs to take place. It is still, though, getting capped here by Anticity despite the comeback of the Winged Lancers. They need to start killing stuff and killing stuff fast. Winged Lancers go up and around into the rear of these Blue Horrors. That's going to be some devastating damage. Constantine is trying to push himself back onto the objective, but it is turning into the glorious green of Tzeentch and Anticity. We have war sleds on approach. It is so close. 4,000 tickets to 4,300. Objective 1 is being capped by the sneaky dervishes of Kislev. There are, however, Blue Horrors and Furies on approach, and I think it's going to have to be given up there. Maybe rotate them in to this middle objective. The Light War Sled's doing a decent job. Just hold this objective as long as possible, and maybe you'll only need the single cap. Winged Lancers doing a fantastic job running through all the Blue Horrors. This objective is still slowly being captured by Tzeentch. The Winged Lancers trying their best. Are they going to be able to hold on long enough? This is so disgustingly close. One of the best games I have cast so far on this game. Tzeentch now own the middle, but is it enough? Mathematicians, I need you to get out your calculators and decipher whether Turin needs to cap back an objective or if he just needs the one. He does have more light war sleds starting to contest. Objective 1 is going back in favor of Tzeentch, though. We have blue horrors over here, and yeah, the dervishes aren't going to be enough. We have some Kossar spears, just going to apply a bit of pressure. Objective 3, is it enough to hold on to? I need you guys right now. My maths is really bad, but particularly when I'm a TIE duckling, it is god-awful. Spawner Zinch, as well as the Lord of Change, continue to fight here. We have more pressure coming from double Furies, and maybe rotating a Light Warstead back there wouldn't be the worst thing to do in the world. It is very tight right now as the Winged Lancers push back to Objective 1 and just apply a lot of pressure, stretch the force of Zinch as much as possible, and Turin is barely clinging on to victory. Kislevs are so freaking tanky, and I love this play by Anticity. It's desperate, but you get Furies over here. They can't cap. It doesn't matter. You kill all the enemy units which can cap, and then your ground forces should be enough. Turin is sneaking his way to victory. It is desperately close here, but I think the mighty Kislevs themselves are going to win. Holy moly. Blah, blah, blah. That was just insane. That was insane. Holy crap. Holy crap. That was the craziest game I think I've ever seen. That was insane. And it's kicked me straight out so we can't see damage value. I think it's because we're not hosting. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about damage value. We don't care. That was too much. That was too much. That was just wild. Holy crap. That was insane. GG, that was mental. Best game I have cast so far. Cool, next map is Mountain of Morn. And these guys know what the maps are. I've got to change nameplates. Thank you so much for sending a message on Discord there. So it is 1-0 to Turin, but I failed to change the names. I apologize, guys. We shall change that to Mr. Intisty. Sorry, we have moved on to the final. This is best of 5, though. Holy crap. Cool, so they're doing their picks and bans. They've moved to Mountain of Morn. What did you guys think of that one? What did you think of that one? Turin's such a beast. Holy crap. Honestly, that was just the most insane game I've ever seen. Yeah, Anticity Zinch was defeated. Kislev just hold, man. I need to, like, message Turin and be like, please, almighty sensei, teach me the ways of Kislev. Teach me the ways of Kislev. I want to main them, but I'm just so much better with Khorne. I think Khorne's just the easiest faction to learn. It was like, Logic looks a bit like Anticity today. Yeah, so I got there in the end. But I hope these guys are putting on a good show for you. I hope you're enjoying. If you guys are enjoying, feel free. Today we are doing a charity stream, so feel free to donate to, we're doing a Macmillan's Cancer Support Charity. A lady who basically helped raise me, pretty much my second mum. I do have like my biological family as well, but I also lived with these people for quite some time. And yeah, she unfortunately did have cancer last year, was able to overcome it with the help of this charity, and decided that she's going to run a half marathon, which is crazy. Because she literally had it last year, so being able to come back from that and decide, hey, I'm going to get focused and run this half marathon to try to raise money for the people who supported me is, one, very inspiring and mind-boggling in its own. She was trying to raise £1,500 for charity. She's very close there, and I believe it is the end of this month when she's going to be actually running the race. So there's a link down below if you'd like to support. You do not need to make a profile or anything. You can simply use, I believe, PayPal, Google Pay, or like debit cards and stuff to donate via there. And if you would, please do just leave a message. It says, like, you can leave your name and message. Just leave a message saying quack, because I think it'd be very funny if she wakes up in the morning and gets a load of quacks there. Because she doesn't know I'm doing this yet. I will kind of let her know tomorrow. If you are struggling, so I know some countries can't use that website super well. If you are struggling, feel free to, if you have PayPal, shoot me the money. Just say in big bold for the charity, and I'll send it across. I'm also going to put some of my own money, of course, in there as well. Yeah, who's your guys' money on right now? Yeah, Turin's nutty at this game. Don't get, like, I know he's known as, like, one of the best casters in the universe. He's also one of the best players. He is scary. I was going to check Discord. Okay, looks like they're good. No! Don't crash game. I think they may have pressed ready up as I tabbed out the game. I was going to see if they had any messages. No! Oh, my game's crashed. Ah. My game crashed. Can you rehost? I knew that was going to happen as soon as it, like, jutted when I closed the game. I think they pressed start just as I tabbed out. I'm going to use Discord on my phone, though, so that doesn't happen. Yeah, that was insane. I think it's Ogre Mirror, yeah. Mr. Wood's like, I need turn to win so I can go to sleep. Alright. Let's get back involved. Okay. Did they start the game? They did not. Awesome. Spectate. That was my bad. I'm just not going to close the game anymore. That was my bad. I'm back. Okay, I'm using my phone. Sorry, chat, I'm going to have to put you guys down for a bit. And just message them on Discord. I'm back. Up to you guys. If you are both happy with it, go for it. If not, we can redo. I'm fine to cast a mirror match if the guys want to do the mirror match. If they don't, then I'll let them repick, and if they can't decide, we'll just stick with it. Sure, we can play. Awesome. Sharon being a champ there, and going in ogres versus ogres. Yeah, Turn's just asking Intensity, hey, do you want to do the mirror match, or do you want to mix it up? He's core mirror as well. Cool, again, ogre v ogre, baby. Ogre v ogre. This is going to be very much some good fun. Man, I love that game so much. That game may be my favorite game I've ever cast. I like it so much, I might like recast that on my channel. Maybe not, because I think one of these guys might want to put it on theirs as well. That was bonkers. We've had that game, and the first game featuring Kislev. Maybe it's just because I'm so hyped about Kislev in general, like thematically. But both the Kislev games on today's stream have been absurd. Samurai vs. Intensity, like just clinging on, was so good. But that last game, man, like watching two players with micro like that far out exceed my own, and just watching their like timed pushes, knowing when to go for objectives, knowing when to rotate as well, like the macro side of it is really impressive. And I think a lot of these guys, I think both Intensity and Turn are going to shine in the competitive scene for this. Turin said he's never done this. Good luck, my dude. Good luck. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever done an Ogre Mirror either. I mean, I would take an Iron Blaster for sure. My main advice would be not to take a Scrap Launcher. Maybe going like cheap Ogre Bulls and like a lot of Noblars just to cap objectives, and then go with one or two heavy hitters would be the way, I'd think. Yeah, for those who don't know, like, I don't know how you wouldn't know this by now, but Turin and Intensity are both obviously fantastic content creators, and do a load of good Warhammer free stuff, so please do go check them out. Also, Logic and Samurai Warrior are both content creators as well, who played in the semi-finals. Make sure to go spread the love and just, you know, bounce around. I really do want to see the tournament scene just grow as much as possible. I'm always down for, like, collaborations with people and trying to get new people in, new tournament hosts, and just as much as possible into the game, because I think this game, and particularly Domination mode, has a lot of potential. Like, a lot of potential to be pretty huge. And the craziest thing is, I think this could even be, I'm not saying they've, like, not put their all into the game, but I do think this could be a tester, this game mode, for Total War Warhammer 40k. Because the maps are basically 40k maps, with like all the shot blockers and stuff, which helps counteract just two armies just obliterate each other from range. And with like holding the objectives, it's very 40k tabletop based. So I think it could work. I think it could work for sure. Benedict, you said you've just come back and you surprised Sharon beat Intensity? Bro, go back. Is it black screen? Rubber duck of blank screen war. No. Can you guys not see? How's that? Can you guys see the screen or not? I don't want to tab out because the game crashes if I do. Can you guys see the screen? Hopefully you can. Yeah, but definitely go back and check out that game. Let me check out Discord. Cool, so they're fine there. You can see? It looks good. Okay, we can see. Cool. Stressing me out, guys. Get me stressed. You can see. Awesome. Awesome. Everyone's like, we can see. Awesome stuff. Oh, damn, I wanted to show off my stuff from CA, like, towards the end of the stream. I'll risk it at the very end of the stream. For those who missed it, I got, like, an awesome little care package with a lovely message from Creative Assembly. For the work we've been doing, like, on the game. For, like, launch. I'm actually currently wearing, like, a Total Warhammer 3 top and stuff. But I don't want to risk the chance of closing the game and, like, the game crashing. So I'll show that at the end of the stream, I guess. Yes. Awesome, you guys can see. Perfect. Yeah, there's a delay on stream, obviously. So when I ask you guys, like, no one answers, and I have to wait, and then everyone answers in one go. I'm planning on starting trying multiplayer with domination mode. It looks much more fun and forgiving for Total Warhammer multiplayer noobs. The coolest thing, Northern Light, honestly. The coolest thing I think they've done, more than... Well, domination's just a lot easier for newer players if you're going into, like, quick battles and stuff, because you don't have to worry about people, like, kite drawing you and all that kind of nonsense. But the best thing is they've added an elo system to their quick battles and ranked thing, which is, I'm so happy for. I'm all about them having an elo system. So you will still sometimes play people who are a bit better or a bit worse than you, because if someone of your skill level is not online at the time and searching at the time, you won't meet them. But more often than not, you'll be playing people of similar skill, or more similar at least than the kind of the randomness of the previous game, which is a big boom. So for the forces of Intisity, so Intisity is the blue ogres, we have a load of Noblars. We also have double Ogre Bulls, we have some Lead Belchers, and Scrag the Slaughterer, definitely the best pick. Coming in, I think, with just the hill, though, just the Troll Guts. It's a very powerful regrowth. We then have more Ogre Bulls and more Noblars in the middle. We have Iron Blasters and Sabertusk Pack on the flank. For the force of Turin, he's the one actually kind of cowering in the trees. He has got his entire force hidden here. We have, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4 Gorges, single Noblar Trappers, double Noblars, and Scrag the Slaughterer with the heal once again. But also kind of a second spell, which I like quite a bit here, the Bull Gorger. Not like I've tried out too much, but very cheap Winds of Magic, only 4 Winds of Magic, plus 24 melee attack and 25% armor piercing. And when in doubt, like Turin said, like, I haven't done this matchup before, I don't know what to bring, just bring Gorges. Gorges are your answers to, like, everything. Really fun map, this one. It's quite big. It's Ogre themed as well, but Ogre and a bit Kislevi. It looks like Turin for now is going to be just waiting, not really trying to give his opponent too many opportunities to shoot him, because he himself hasn't brought an Iron Blaster out or Lead Belchers yet, so he is massively outranged at the moment, which is quite problematic, obviously, for him. And this is quite an unusual position for Intisity, because he's the one who's used to, like, you know, I'm going to pull back, bide my time, and then push aggressively. He's like, oh god, okay, where's Turin at? So he's going to have to push forward with his Ogre Bulls and his Noblars and just start to contest a little bit. On the left-hand side as well, Intisity's doing a big push. He's got to be careful, though, because obviously a lot of his resources are on the mid and far right objective. And Turin could just absolutely slam in here and do a load of damage. The risk is, if he gets pinned in by one unit of Ogre Bulls, the Lead Belchers as well as the Iron Blaster is going to do a lot of work. And it looks like Turin saves up early there and buys his own Iron Blaster. It is, in my opinion, that's obviously only my opinion, really, and on limited games, obviously, is the best unit in the game. Like, by a large margin as well. Ogre Bulls take some pretty nasty damage there. Their armor also gets sundered by that. And they're going to start rotating a little bit to the shot blockers. And this is what I love about this game mode, is that we can have maps with, like, big shot blockers on them. And you can use that to kind of strategize and hide away from enemy artillery. Though artillery can be very powerful. Like, dropping an Iron Blaster up here would be very nice, for example. So a little bit early skirmishy here. Both players just kind of tickling each other's, you know, just doing a little cheeky tickle. Not doing anything too crazy. Intisity does have more map control. He's currently hugging and holding all the objectives. And we're just going to have to wait and see how Turin is going to really approach this. And he's going to go for a big bomb rush down the middle. All the Gorges plus Scrag, plus the Iron Blaster going in for it. And it seems like the Iron Blaster, oh my god, look at the damage to the Ogre Bulls. That thing shreds infantry, monstrous infantry, large targets. It does the lot. And it seems like the Noblars, though, taking a lot of shots down the rank of the unit, which, of course, is very painful indeed. In the center, the Gorges are about to jump the Ogre Bulls. Interesting to see how they trade effectively. We have Noblars in the center as well, and it looks like Intisity is going to start pulling back his Ogre Bulls into the center, which is going to open up, though, to some cannon fire from the Iron Blaster. We're going to see a big fat heal go down on the Ogre Bulls. That should be enough to keep them in the fight up against the Gorges, who are doing some pretty decent damage so far. And the middle objective is currently going in the favor of Turin's Red Ogres, but Objective 1 and Objective 3 both being capped by Intisity. And now he's moving up his Lead Belchers into that center to start pouring on the firepower, and that long-range firepower could prove pretty huge here. The Gorges doing a decent job despite the heal on the Ogre Bulls. They are taking considerable damage, and the Iron Blaster is in a little bit of a rough situation. The Lead Belchers of Antiquity get slammed by the Iron Blaster of Turin, and the Red Ogres do claim the middle objective here, which is good news for them because elsewhere they are struggling a little bit. But the right objective may not get fully capped right now, as there are Ogre Balls on the approach. Good play by Antiquity though, pushing out one unit of Saber Tusk pack to keep the Iron Guts at bay, allowing the other one to capture. Then you rotate and fall back, maybe go towards the middle, and it looks like we do have Lead Belchers just pouring on that fire down range. This is going to be pretty disgusting stuff, though likewise they're taking big damage themselves from the Iron Blasters. Now the Gorges are really struggling out here on the left-hand flank. Ogre Balls and Scrag the Slaughterer, taking a bit of friendly fire there actually, are doing some, pinning the Gorges in place and allowing the Lead Belchers to really drag them down. The central objective is red though. Scrag the Slaughterer and his boys, the Gorges, doing some good damage, and the Gorges, they will heal and do extra damage when Scrag is nearby, and that stacks more and more. Lead Belchers are such a big problem right now for Turin's Red Ogres, but he is using his Iron Blaster relatively effectively to take them down here. We have more Lead Belchers for Antiquity, firing into the Maw of Death. Gnoblar Trappers scrapping it with Gnoblars, so more Gnoblars on the approach to help hold. And it looks like Objective 1 is now being contested a bit more by Turin. We have Gnoblars moving in, as well as some Iron Guts. Oh, hell yeah! The sexy Iron Guts. Guts out, boys! We'll get in here and slap up these balls and show them they ain't nothing but a dirty gobbo to us. And a good pressure coming by Turin on Objective 1. Looks like he is probably going to have enough punch here to kind of take this and wrestle it off the hands of Antiquity, though there are Gorges being summoned now by himself to try to counteract this. Scrag's pushing in the middle. The Iron Blast of Antiquity needs to be careful. It could be jumped by Scrag and these Gorges and get dragged down rather nastily here. But Antiquity is now starting to push so much pressure, rotating round from Objective 3 to really go after this Iron Blaster. We have really nasty Ogre Balls and Gnoblars in a lovely flank attack, though Gorges will really shred Gnoblars. That's a perfect target for them to sink their teeth in. Iron Blaster's moving in. Maybe going for a bit of Iron Blaster on Iron Blaster cheeky action. Lead Belchers of Antiquity are in such good positions. It's really devastating stuff. Turin does get Objective 1 though. So the Red Ogre's doing a fantastic job here. Now the Iron Guts will be engaging with Ogre Balls. The Iron Guts also get the Bull Ogre put on them, which is going to increase their melee attack and armor piercing, and they're going to shred these poor little Ogre Balls and drag them down. At least you would think, but they may be taking a bit of fire as well. Gnoblars have pushed up, and the Iron Blasters are both still active and online. They're going to be quite crucial in this game. Gnoblar Trappers and Iron Guts are going to start applying a bit of pressure to Objective number 3 as Turin starts to go almost level on tickets once more. His middle fighting force is looking really beat up right now, though. Not good whatsoever. I mean, his Gorges, they're all very beat up. They are still healing because of Scrag, but the enemy Scrag is looking strong. There's a load of Gnoblars in here, and Antiquity starts to claim Objective number 2. And Scrag may be caught a little bit unawares here. Ogre Ball, Iron Fists, and Gorges starting to flood in. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose his Lord here at all costs. If you lose the objective, that's fine. That's completely okay. You cannot lose your spellcaster, particularly when your enemy has one, and it's such good healing. Objective 1 is still very much contested. The Gnoblars are fighting pretty well alongside the Iron Guts to take down the balls on the left-hand side. We have Iron Blaster galore by both players, just vibing and floating around. Objective 2, though, has been claimed by Antiquity. Damage value-wise, these guys are trading almost blow for blow, within like 100 gold damage value against each other. Incredibly close game so far. The Gorges are looking really beat up, but they've had some great durability in the middle. The Lead Belcher Crossfire, as soon as the Lead Belcher's pouring shots into the mid, is really what's turning this into a bit of a bloodbath. But despite that, some fantastic flank play has kept Turin in the game. Gnoblar Trappers have made a good little push here alongside the Iron Guts. Objective 3 is almost certainly going to be falling now into the favor of the mighty Red Ogres. Scrag the Slaughterer is going up against Scrag the Slaughterer. Unfortunately, the Lead Belchers are pouring fire in, which means it's going to be going far worse for Turin than it is for Antiquity. Though he's still holding the enemy back, he's pouring in some more forces, more Ogre Balls, just contesting. Keep your opponent busy here in the middle while you cap the flanks and laugh victoriously. But Antiquity, he's got some schemes of his own. He's summoning some Gorges in a vanguarded position here and going to go up and around onto Objective 1 to counterpunch this. And it does look like Turin's resistance on Objective 1 is fading here. And it looks like one of the Iron Blasters does get pulled back there. Whose Iron Blaster was that? It looks like it was Antiquity's. It ran out of ammunition. He decided to retreat it. Smart play indeed. Middle objective is still very contested here. Objective 3 is certainly red, and we have Iron Guts rotating it back into the middle. The Scrag the Slaughter fight seems to actually be getting really good for Turin Scrag, which is quite surprising considering the Lead Belcher fire coming in. But look at the Gorges. They're still scrapping alongside their mighty leader. They get so many buffs. Look at their buffs to their weapon strength, charge bonus, and melee attack. It is absurd. And they are ripping into Inticity's Scrag, and he's starting to go down. He pops Troll Guts on himself, but he already breaks. And guess who's there to lap him up? The Iron Guts boys. So fantastic play in the mid. It's still held, though, by Inticity, and he has a load of Noblars starting to apply pressure and come into the middle, which I think is a smart play. We do have a load of trappers, though, on the warpath. Objective 1 is going to be fallen into Inticity's favour. It is currently 2-1 capped for Turin, who's taken a slight lead in the tickets, but not by much at all. And look at this play. Sabertusk pack, Gorgers, all of this flooding the objective. Inticity, always top tier is micro and macro. Doing some fantastic trading on the flank objectives, making it all about the middle fight. Ogre Balls are pushing in. Gorgeous is doing a fantastic job as well. Scrag the Slaughterer is just tanked here, and it seems like most likely Inticity's Scrag will be able to escape. He's at his healing cap though, and the Iron Blast is focusing him down. Sabertusk pack is moving into the middle, but it seems like they are just trading objectives so effectively. Every time Inticity gains one, Turin's like, no, yoink, I'm gonna take this one instead. And it looks like it is once again a 2-for-1 cap for the Red Ogres. More balls are starting to apply pressure and push in. Noblar Trappers are dealing relatively successfully with the Sabertusk pack down here. And obviously Sabertusk pack are a... Oh no, it's just another Noblar Trapper, you know. Okay. So, yeah, going to be a bit of a cancelling each other out there. But with Ogre Balls here, it's going to be really tough to get that objective back. The middle one as well, good durability so far. I'd like to see Inticity summon the Iron Blaster one more time now that he's brought it off. But Turin's starting to push really aggressive. And both the Lead Belchers are gone off the battlefield, which is really bad news because they were kind of always keeping Inticity's damage up there with Turin's. And now they've been forced back. Scrag's going to rotate. Lovely play by Inticity. Float over to objective 3 here. And he is starting to claim this objective. We have more Ogre Balls, though, and more Sabertusks looking to counterpunch where possible. It's going to be a scrap over there with Scrag rotating around. He is near his healing cap. Middle objective is, yeah, very much red. Objective 1, though, Inticity has secured. We have Noblar Trappers fending off enemy Noblars. And it's looking like it's going to be a pretty close game and probably a quite close set between these guys in general. Very impressive all the games so far. The middle is still very scrappy. It does seem, though, like Inticity is actually starting to claim it back. I guess he just has so many more, like, healthy units, and that does certainly help support the mid. I'm still very surprised he's capping this. There's a lot of Gorges in here. I guess they're so weak, they don't count for much capping-wise. We have more Noblars and Ogre Balls on the warpath, though, and we've got some units which can pull back in and help secure that objective, and it looks like that is exactly what's going to happen. Objective 3 is close. Scrag the Slaughterer, though, being rotated around here by Inticity is a genius move in my mind, and though Turin has tried to contest it with Ogre Balls, with the Noblars in here, it's simply going to be too much, and Inticity most likely will be able to cap Objective 3, but it's going to be happening pretty damn slowly for him, unfortunately, and it looks like we are going to see some Mournfang Cavalry Great Weapons, actually, being spawned in as reserves from the Red Ogres of Turin, and Noblars leading them back towards the objective, looking to contest it. Hopefully they're not too late to hold it, or at least pick up a fight. Middle objective is also starting to turn green to the favor of Inticity as he scraps back, and he may get a triple cap here, which would be absolutely huge. The Mournfang Cavalry do swarm in now. We also have all the Noblars in here. Is it enough? No. Inticity is still capping at this objective, and I think we may well get the trip from Ent. Mournfang Cavalry jump on top of the Ogre Balls. Going to be able to do some decent damage to them. A little bit of lag there. Apologies about that. Of course, guys are connected from all around the world. And the middle objective, likewise, is also starting to fall into the hands of Inticity, which is so surprising. Look at the amount of red units there. I don't know quite how that is happening there. I mean, you've got the Sabertusks here and Iron Guts, I suppose. And it is very close, bouncing back and forth. I think it's because the Gorges are so weak right now, like one model. They're basically counting for no balance of, like, capturing objectives. So turn up to 4,100 tickets. Probably just needs to hold the one objective at this point to win. But which one does he go for? I mean, this objective on the right-hand side is still actually in the hands of Turin. It wasn't quite capped. That could be pivotal. And the late game Mournfang Cavalry coming in has routed the Ogre Balls and could probably take down Scrag here and take away your enemy leadership. Though at this stage of the game, I wouldn't go for the assassination. I would go for the Sabertusk packs. I would go for the Noblars. Anything which can cap objectives should be your priority target. Yes, killing Scrag would be great, but he's probably out of Winds of Magic at this point, and he doesn't count for too much. Noblar Trappers moving to objective 3. We nearly had the triple cap coming in by Inticity, but he's starting to run out of steam. Middle objective is still Turin's. Objective 1 is well and truly Inticity's, and he has to risk it all. Noblar Trappers sent everything this way. We could see a summon of, like, oh, we did. We saw some of Noblars. They're going to push objective 1. Beautiful play coming in by the Red Ogres. Gorge has been fighting all day long in the middle. Scrag the Slaughterer likewise. Middle objective is still well and truly red. And objective 3, it was such a valiant push. I thought Intisti may well get the triple cap. He has once again summoned his Iron Blaster onto the field. And the majority of Turin's force is kind of getting broken off here. But Scrag is surrounded. Mournfang Cavalry looking to drag him down. And with that, it is going to be GG's. And a 2-0 advantage to Turin in this game with 2 high-quality games. I don't want to kind of call it early, but there's no way. There's no way, right? Maybe there is. Intisti's capturing the mid-objective again, pushing hard on objective 3. But this is scary. Noblars plus Iron Gut combo moving towards objective 1. I am just going to save that as that. I will know what it means. That was some crazy stuff there. That was absurd. That was absurd. These have been the highest quality games I've seen so far in Warhammer 3. I'm not even kidding. These are like the most high quality games I've seen. Zoom in, Ducky. I'll try and zoom in a little bit more, bud. I was just bouncing around. There was so much going on. I apologize. Scrag the Slaughterer of Intisti, 1.3k to the 1.2k of Turin. So trading effectively there. Iron Blast only 1.4. Lead Belchers did okay, but not as much value as I thought they were going to get. How did the second unit do? 1.4k value again. Pretty nice stuff. And it became a big grind fest. The Gorges of Turin fought forever alongside Scrag. 925, 1,200, 1,300. Decent damage value across the board from them. Any other crazy standouts here? I love the late game Mournfang Cavalry push. That was some inspired stuff. 1.2k gold value on them. Really secured up that side objective. 800 value on the Iron Guts, 900. Supporting them alongside Noblars was great for side capping. The same stuff as well. 1,000 value, 1,000 value. Yeah, pretty meaty stuff. And Turin's Iron Blaster actually outperformed with 3,251 value. Hunting down the Lead Belchers was a very good pick. Very good pick. Right, I am going to have to tab out the game to update the scoreboard. Let's pray we can get back into the game. There we go, we're back. We're back, baby. And they are moving the map on to the crossing of the Sea of Claws. You got us an amazing treat getting these two to have some competitive matches against each other. This is great. I'm having a great time. I'm actually having a blast. I am having a blast. Was a fun mirror? 100%. Do I think Gorges need a nerf? They're very good. I don't think they're even the most powerful thing, though, on that roster. I've got 3k hours between game 1 and 2, all in campaign in this new game mode. Makes me want to try multiplayer. I've heard that from a lot of people, and that's really awesome. I want the community just to grow as much as possible, and, you know, it's a great time. It's been good fun. Really nice. Yeah, that's been some fun stuff. Can Intisti catch up? Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a best of 5, guys. It is a best of 5. So let's quickly check the Discord, make sure they're all good. GG, well played. Another fantastic game. That was awesome stuff to behold. I think we have Sinesh versus Nurgle now, so Intisti bringing out the big guns. We saw how scary both Intisti and Turin were with these factions early on. With Nurgle against Sinesh, I mean, you're so freaking slow compared to Sinesh's speed dominance. And I think the Air Core might... I mean, you can... Turin may have to go with Air Core here to contest. I don't know. I would like to tell you guys how this is going to go down. But with these two players, it's just impossible to know, like, what crazy stuff they're going to pull out the bag for us. Turin truly is the Dark Lord. Yeah, I know. He's like the Grand Master behind the scenes, right? Being like puppeteer in the Torment scene. And he's like, oh, you think you're the most powerful? But secretly, when he unveils himself, the double lightsaber comes out and he starts cutting people off. Yeah, Undecided, I think it's just like a mixed bag. Like, some people are going to perform... Some people are going to prefer, like, pitch battles. Some people are going to prefer domination battles. The same way when, like, Warhammer came out in the first place, Total Warhammer. Some people are like, no, I don't want to play this. I only want to play historic titles and so on. And that's fine. And there's still like huge communities doing those. I think there's definitely room for both. Personally, as a player, Domination is a lot funner. From my experiences so far, obviously it's new, so maybe that'll wear off on me over time, but I've been having an absolute blast. It's the most fun I've had in my plan in a long time, and I've been playing really good players who kick my butt consistently, and it's still really good fun, you know? But that doesn't mean there's no place for land battles, and they're going to be good. I was hoping it'd go Khorne. Yeah, Tyrion, if it'd gone Khorne, I think there was a pretty decent counter into them. But this is going to be rough for you, but the way you're playing, bud, I wouldn't put it past you to get out a win here. I would not put it past you to get out a win. I don't know, was it? Nurgle can do good, and we saw Tyrion very dominant with Nurgle early on. Against Slaanesh, though, oh, it's going to be a nightmare. He has to get a really good opening and just dominate the map, which is the hardest thing to do with this faction into Slaanesh's faction. Let me quickly check Discord, make sure we're all good. We are. Guys, once again, if you are enjoying what these guys are putting on show for you today, feel free to like and subscribe and all that standard stuff. But if you are enjoying and you're feeling a little bit generous, we are doing a charity stream today. There's a link in the description down below. Mods have also been posting it throughout the course of the stream in the chat. We're raising money for Macmillan's cancer support charity, which help people recover both mentally and physically from cancer. And a family friend of mine is running a half marathon. She's raised over £1,200, I believe, already, and is aiming to hit 1,500. She's running at the end of the month, and there's a link down below to how you can support. Feel free to leave a message for her as well. You don't have to make a account or anything like that. You can even just do an anonymous donation. But if you want to leave a message, just say quack or something, because I think it'd be kind of funny if she has no idea what's going on, because I haven't told her we're doing the charity stream, and then tomorrow I'll reveal, like, moha, this is where the, you know, they came from, basically. So feel free to do that. If you are struggling and your country won't let you do it through that website, feel free just to shoot me it on PayPal. Just say charity in big bold, and I'll just get it all sent through at the end of the day. Win for Nurgle, nerf Tyrion. Someone needs to. Someone needs to. But I mean, Intisti is one of the scariest guys. Rubber, you've got a lot more subs recently. Yeah, it's been great. Like, the Warhammer 3 early access helped my channel greatly. It's obviously started to slow down a little bit. Like, the initial early access is the huge big boon. I had a video do over 40k views, which is the biggest I've ever had. Like, it blew my mind a little bit. It's kind of crazy. But I am loving all of the support and stuff we've been getting on the channel. It's really, like, towards the end of Warhammer 2, I was getting quite ground down, obviously. I've been doing it for a few years, and it was like the same type of battles over and over. So this has really refreshed and reinvigorated me. For the forces of Intisti, we have Seekers of Slaanesh. I actually really like these angry ladies. They bring quite a lot of punch to the battlefield. We also have Hell Striders of Slaanesh, who are a bit more cheap and cheerful. Double Cultists of Slaanesh, who can come in with their summons. And we have an Exalted Keeper of Shadows, just sauntering in, coming in with the Pendulum, of course, as well as the Ballet of Blows and Seductive Glory. On the other side of the battlefield, I was trying to find them there briefly, is the forces of Nurgle. So we have Double Soul Grinder. Very interesting pick here. I think they're going to be able to do quite a lot of big boom damage to the enemy, even their cavalry. They're meant to be more anti-infantry, but the cavalry of Slaanesh is very, very squishy. We have some Exalted Plague Bearers being brought as well. Really devastating long-range attacks. They've only got a couple of them. They're almost like blasting charges. Look, 2 ammunition, but it does some really dangerous damage and is quite naughty. Herald of Nurgle up in the skies. Seems like this is Tyrion's fair way of taking him. He's quite good on his little, like, I don't know how to say the word. I want to say Plaquin, but that could be completely wrong. He's like a little chair. He's very tanky. But yeah, against Slaanesh, if you have a load of big flies in the back pocket, you can do relatively okay. And it looks like Intisti's going to kind of sit back here once again. He doesn't want to engage too early on, and it doesn't want to take too much damage from the Soul Grinders. And he's going to push forward with the Cultist and the Exalted Lord, and perhaps try to jump on them whilst they're away from the rest of their reinforcements, which certainly wouldn't be a bad idea whatsoever. So a little bit of cat and mouse going on now. A little bit of cat and mouse at the moment. Furies are flying over. The Herald of Nurgle is on approach as well. And it looks like, oh no, the Seekers are on the warpath. They do have pretty decent armor pierce, and the cheap ones as well have that bonus versus large. We are seeing, oh no, they're just the basic ones as well. I thought we were seeing some of the ones with whips, who are really good at taking down Nurglings and other units. Now the Exalted Plague Bearers are here. They're down to party. They're probably going to get hit in the face by a pendulum, I would assume. It looks like the Soul Grinders are going to take this fight. Maybe no, they're going to pull back. Good time in there by turn to pull back into the Exalted Plague Bearers and have the Furies maybe pin in these units and go for a big assassination attempt. With the Herald of Nurgle up in the skies, a rear summon coming in of the Demonettes, and that is devastating. Demonettes have so much damage when they rear charge you, so that's going to be pretty scary stuff for sure, trying to get rid of the Exalted Plague Bearers in the middle, and the Exalted Keeper is going to come down with a pendulum on the Exalted Plague Bearers in some pretty gnarly damage. Holy crap. That is a good start for Anticity, almost doubling the value of his opponent in the early engagement. But the Soul Grinders are healthy, Herald of Nurgle's healthy. We're going to see a big heal as well, I think, go on the Exiled Plague Bearers. And Feebling Foe's been popped on them. Can this heal stabilize them? Only time will tell. Furies and Forsaken are trying to bomb rush the enemy cavalry with a big fight here over on Objective 2. Exiled Lord is a bit of a world beater. We have some Hellstriders being summoned in, a load of flanking Seekers coming in as well from Slaanesh, and more Furies being summoned. Nothing so far on Turin's side to really come in and support in this fight. Not that what he's already brought in anyway. Furies getting ripped to shreds. Forsaken will do a really good job up against the Hellstriders here. Look at the Exalted Lord of Slaanesh though. So majestic, so Chad. I'm a big fan in general of this, the model of this character. Going after the Herald of Nurgle and just doing devastating damage. Both the Soul Grinders are attempting to go toe-to-toe, but yeah, you don't really mess with the Exiled Keeper. The Exiled Keeper messes with you, and we get another nasty pendulum. Holy cow, going down the line on the Forsaken and the Furies. That is some really nasty work here. And the big blob fight in the middle is not going terrible for Nurgle, though. Yes, they're behind damage value, but they're Nurgle, it's expected. They're doing some big damage to the Hellstriders as well, but the Herald of Nurgle going down. Oh no, this is a disaster. Turin couldn't get his Lord out there, and yeah, no Winds of Magic now for Nurgle, who gets so much healing potential and so much staying power from it. That is looking really bad straight out of the gate here. It's a tough matchup, and obviously Anticity is a bit of a beast. Hellstriders are floating in on all angles, trying to surround the Forsaken and drag them low. Soul Grinders are doing decent. We have more Nurglings as well as the Flyers coming in to engage in the main blob. Exotic Keeper Shadow is going to be moving in though, and yeah, this is just so bad right now. The Soul Grinder is going to get dragged down. The Exotic Keeper is a world beater combatant. Such a powerful character, and Kari is very good as well, don't get it wrong, but that bonus versus large, really cool animations, cycling potential, very fast. It's causing a lot of problems right now for the Soul Grinders. So Nurglings are trying to get in and support. However, Seekers and Slaanesh have been used to keep the enemy away and pin them in place. It is going to be an early triple cap for Slaanesh here, I would think. Yeah, units on every single objective. Not waiting for any, comeback rubbish. Just, nope, I'm just going to go straight on this and pin you in place as long as possible. Soul Grinders are getting dragged down. At this point, Turin just needs to try to save as many forces as he can and use the long range of the Soul Grinders to get value, because at the moment, Anticity is nearly going to double the amount of value than the Nurglings are. We can see this Soul Grinder is about to go down. Sorry about the camera movements. I think we're getting stuck there on some terrain. Chaos Fury is going to be jumping in. The Soul Grinders, though, one is about to go down. It has been hit by the Seductive Glory, lowering its melee defense and causing it to rampage. All these units rampaging means Turin has just no control on them, and the Exiled Keeper is just decapitating Soul Grinders left, right, and center. Nurglings are pushing back the Seekers Slaanesh. Soul Grinder is also on the retreat here, trying to fall back to the safety of numbers and troops. But yeah, Slaanesh get the upper hand early on. They're pretty scary. They're very fast and very mobile. And yeah, Turin's going to bow out of that one. I think that one was game, and that was easily the quickest, the most dominant battle we've had so far. Props to Turin, though, for going as long as he did. That is a really tough matchup for him. And I like the build. Losing the Herald of Nurgle was quite pivotal, unfortunately. Once he was down, it did seem like it was going to be an impossible task to get back. 940 gold on one of the Soul Grinders, 560 on the other, 710 from the Exiled Plague Bearers. Don't hate that pick at all. 2.2k on the Exiled Keeper, and the battle hadn't really even got going fully, so that's some scary stuff. Cavalry, 1.5 on the Seekers Slaanesh. I need to use them a bit more. They are really powerful. 1.8k on the other unit. My god. That was some devastating work for sure. Even the Hellstriders, the Hell Scourgers coming in, 870 value on them was good stuff. But yeah, I don't think anything in reserves could have really helped Turin there. It was just such a tough matchup for him. I love the fact he had a Grey Unclean one in there. Unfortunately, we never got to see it in action. But GG's nonetheless. That was a tough one. That was a tough one for sure, but I think Turin had the right idea. I don't know if pinning his Lord on the little floaty chair thing would have been a bit more tanky. He's so tough back against a load of armor. The Slaanesh is brutal, particularly in the hands of someone like Anticity. In a tough matchup, it's always going to be rough. GG, Devil Soul Grinder did not work. It got wrecked. Yeah, the Exiled Keeper had his way. So I've played this matchup against Ent like 10 times. It's Nurgle and never won. Man, you'll get there eventually. You'll figure out some tactic for sure. It was still a very cool build by you. Alas, it was not quite enough to overcome the Krakenkin. What's up, Black Phillip? How's it going? Yeah, maybe the Air Force would be a way in. So the Eye of the North will be the map. Let's quickly update the scoreboard. So Antisti has scrapped back, which he needs to now win 3 games in a row, which is certainly not easy to do against Turin. Certainly not easy to do whatsoever, but he's on the right track now. We are playing on the Eye in the North. And if this game goes all the way and Antisti wins it, we'll be moving back over, I believe, to the Broken Leg Gully, which is the first map we did today, just because we would have gone through all the maps, and that was the one we played, I guess, the longest time ago, right? My word for them, Tzeentch versus Slaanesh, for sure. Tzeentch versus Slaanesh is definitely winnable for both factions. It's definitely, you know, winnable. In fact, we've seen Tzeentch and Slaanesh both win that today on stream. Yeah, the army composition was a bit rough for him. But, like, so army composition is still very important. It is less problematic than it was before. Ooh, I like this actually quite a bit by Antisti here. Getting the Kislev into Tzeentch, I think is pretty smart. Have we seen either of these boys use Khorne yet? I do not think so. I've got a feeling that if this goes all the way, we might get a Khorne mirror match. It seems like it may be Tzeentch versus Kislev. Let me just double check Discord, make sure they're all good. I'm trying not to tab out the game too much, so I'm just doing it on my phone. Video well played. Cool. So, potentially the last game, potentially 2 to go. If you guys are enjoying, you know the drill. Scream, quack, and chat. You feel like the Exalted Grand Clean one with Mortis and another regular unclean one could be a way to go? Yeah, you would definitely dominate the middle there, then holding the subjects would be rough, but you could rotate one out wide. You would definitely lose damage value-wise to Exalted Keeper or Inkari, but you would be able to endure probably a lot better. No Cathay? No Cathay so far. Antisti is very scary of Cathay, though. And so is Turin. I had a game against Turin the other day, and he completely stomped me. Like, in the early stages, I was like, oh my god, I have no idea how to deal with this Cathay build as Khorne. I'd forgotten to bring Furies because I had so many hounds. I was like, what's the problem? And he was actually sitting back and just obliterating me damage value-wise. I got a little bit lucky. He had a misplay where his Lord, like, went on the ground. I got, like, 1 hit in, and I was able to rampage because I had Scarbrand, and then from that point onwards, I, like, was able to swarm him a lot more effectively. But, both these players are pretty solid Cathay champs. We haven't seen Khorne or Cathay yet. We have not seen Khorne or Cathay yet. It looks like Kislev versus Tzeentch. I'm very happy with all the Kislev plays we've seen today. I definitely need to save these replays and study them and get my Kislev game up. I'm an okay Kislev player, but I would like to be very good. Problem is with the big boys, they just hold the other 2 exactly. I guess you could rotate one round, but then it's going to get bullied by the Exotic Keeper, is the problem there. Maybe Air Force, but the enemy cavalry tears apart your Air Force quite comfortably. I'm sure there's a way of doing it, or like an optimal way at least of Nurgle. But it's definitely one of the toughest matchups around. Definitely one of the toughest around. If they're going to bully your army, snipe someone and run away, yeah, that works a lot. That is good. Yeah, Scarbrand's actually pretty decent. Like, the Bloodthirster has a lot more mobility, which is useful for map control and stuff, but in certain matchups I've had a lot of success with Scarbrand. A lot of success. He just beats basically anything one-on-one. I think Inkari can win with cycle charging, but you have to cycle charge. Otherwise Scarbrand's gonna, you know, nom nom nom, gobble you up. Not too much you can do about it. Thank you so much, Rebane, by the way, for pinning up the charity link. Once again, guys, if you would like to support the charity today, we're pinning on this show for you guys here. We gathered like some of your favorite casters and commentators and just true chads of the community, Samurai Warrior, Logic, Antisti, and Turin, in the hopes to raise some money here to help battle cancer and support the Macmillan charity, basically, as much as physically possible. There's a link, and if you donate through there, it goes towards a family friend of mine who's running a half marathon for the charity, and which supported her last year. And yeah, we're trying to get up to, her goal was £1,500, I believe, and she'd already got like 1,200 on her own. But there's not much time left because I think the marathon's at the end of the month, so I thought I'd give a helping hand where possible and hopefully give back a little bit, yeah, where we can. Because I would, you know, if I ever get into that horrible situation, you know, I'd want some support there. So I'm glad these charities exist and they do a lot of great work and very tough work as well, because I don't even know how I would go about, you know, helping someone in that situation. It can be really rough for families. Khorne's very good, Dacta. Khorne is scary, bro. Cathay, less good. But Khorne is an amazing faction. They're up there for sure. I would say Khorne's probably a bit better than Kislev. We still love Kislev today. Tzeentch and Slaanesh are very scary. Although Khorne's pretty good against Slaanesh, so... yeah, I don't know. Personally, if I was to do a tier list, I have put up a tier list. It's going to change drastically, obviously, like over, you know, the coming days and stuff as more people get the game, and it's from my limited experience. But I would say Ogres... Tzeentch is probably the most powerful, followed by Ogres. Then it's kind of tough. Like, I'd probably say just about Slaanesh over Khorne, and Khorne just over Kislev, and then Nurgle, then Cathay. That's what I would say for now. But again, that's based on, you know, what I've played and the games I've had and stuff. Pendulum's good. Yeah, you have to try and kill the caster. It's good. It's not the craziest thing, though, in the game, I don't think. I think it does need a bit of a nerf. But I think Iron Blast is a kind of, you know, tougher. Would you think Cathay needs to be as good as the others? Something that can hold an objective that isn't a Terracotta Sentinel. Because Terracottas, like, even if... you can split them up for one, like, quite easily. And they're not going to cap an objective against, like, mass swarms of infantry. And they haven't, like... Celestial Dragon Guard are very expensive and they seem to be quite squishy. They seem quite squishy, so they don't seem to be able to hold objectives super well. I was going to do a video today. I've got all the replays, but I was just too tired to record, so I don't think we're going to get a video today. I have a video done for tomorrow, but I'm going to do one soon where it's unit testing with the Elemental Bear. Harmony seems really hard to use in Domination mode. It works quite well, Black Phillip, with the Iron Hail Gunners. They're close range anyway, and you have them just behind. If you have to fight in combat, you know, so be it. But yeah, it's a little tricky to use here compared to pitch battles. I think, Cathay, I've done a few pitch battles. They're basically a mixture between Empire and Dwarfs. They're very scary, and I think they're going to be a lot better in pitch battles than they will be in Domination. But likewise, I think Nurgle will be almost unplayable in pitch battles. Like, I have no idea how you're going to win a game of Nurgle in pitch battles against half the factions, which will just kite you. Like, max war sleds, mass horse archers, Kislev, easy dubski, Tzeentch, just shield, cycle charge, and obliterate from range. It'd be really nasty on Nurgle, I think, so... Be interesting to see what, you know, what is the dominant faction in Domination compared to what's the dominant faction in pitch battle, because they could be very different. Could be very different. I'm going to check the Discord quickly. Looks like we have no questions, so we are all good to go. Yeah, Jade Warriors, I found, if you actually triple gold chevron them, they're basically longbeards. Which is good. Which is very good. Over 300 people watching. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's been an awesome stream so far. I haven't actually checked to see, like, if we've made any money, like, made any money for the charity or what, but I'll check at the end of the stream anyway. But I hope you guys have been enjoying. It's been really good fun. And in general, like, these Turin versus Intisti, it has been the best battles I have seen on Warhammer 3 so far. They've been so tightly contested. That last game was like a bit of a bad matchup for Turin. That's the problem with blind picks. So pick one, ban one, I think is probably going to be the way to do tournaments from now on. But, you know, blind picks also have a certain amount of charm and awesomeness to them. So for the Forces of Antiquity, I am rooting for my boy here because when we were training partners early on, which was awesome, and always good fun to play games with Antiquity, but he's bringing my favorite faction, which is Kislev, and if he wins, we get an extra game, so hey, it's, you know, juicy bonuses. We do have triple light war sleds for the forces of the mighty Entboy. We have the mighty Katarina coming in on her bear. Interesting choice. Coming in with the Heart of Winter and the Ice Sheet. We have Little Grom, as well as a Patriarch. This is some wild stuff indeed coming in there from the mighty Antiquity. Up in the skies for Turin, we do have an Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch plus a Lord of Change. I actually tried this tactic a lot but came in with one of the Little Lords, and it did decent work here. So yeah, blue and pink fires on both of them, and the Fury Summon. Double blue horrors plus double spawn. The spawn to counter chariots is very smart indeed. Now, if there were some polar bears here, oh god, if there were some polar bears here, that could have been pretty worrying, but at the same time, you know, you just stay away from the polar bears and use your range superiority and magic to try to reign supreme. So all the chariots are sledging their way towards the blue horrors here. Objective 2, of course, it cannot yet be taken, and all the shots going to start going in on the Chaos Spawn of Tzeentch, and they're actually taking some significant damage from those volleys. It's pretty scary stuff. These are all light war sleds, no heavy ones, unfortunately. Little Grom is popping some shots. He's coming for heat. 3 dead spawn off the rip. My boy, Little Grom, taking names. I love the Little Grom model. It is certainly very cool. And yeah, it's kind of like a Mortar Empire War Wagon if the Mortar War Wagon was actually good. The more shots have been ripped in. They're all going for the Spawn of Tzeentch, who are losing a lot of their shields right now. That's allowing the light war sleds to push in. Chaos Spawn have to commit to a fight, so they can't even run away from the range. And it does look like Katarina is going to be charging in here and maybe dropping a big fat ice sheet, slowing down all these units. Lovely combination here. Slowing them down, doing her little ice blast as well, and running away from these pesky light war sleds. Now, we do have some Screamers of Tzeentch summoned from I'm not calling Logic there, my god, from Turin, to try to counter out the light war sleds where possible. And oh no, no Inticity, no. Katarina gets caught there, but she gets healed by the Lullaby, plus has a stand your ground on, which should hopefully keep her alive. Lovely attempted assassination play there by Turin. Alas, it is not going to be enough, and we do have some Kossars, as well as some Winged Lancers being summoned on the field to Inticity. Katarina needs to be careful. She's getting sniped pretty hardcore style here. And she's no longer getting buffed by her ever-faithful Patriarch. We do a big fight going in the middle, though. Spawn of Tzeentch, as well as the little blue horrors, will have to fight war sleds, which isn't great for them. And we do get yet another slow coming from the ice sheet, which should hopefully allow Katarina to escape. But the big double duck plays coming in, hounding, hunting her down. We've got big spells go down as well. The pink fire onto the Kossars, doing some good damage. Katarina is able to hold them with Winged Lancers coming in. That's going to end up being a bit of a backfire by Turin if those big birds get caught and deleted. In the main fight, the light war sleds doing a beautiful job. Likewise is the little Grom, as the Spawn of Tzeentch simply can't get to grips with them due to the good magical play so far by Katarina. Blue horrors as well are pushing in, doing some decent damage. Lots of shots being poured down in by the Kossars. We do have a Snow Leopard summoned as well. I love the Snow Leopard, and this is where Turin could be in a bit of a problematic situation. So did a good job hunting down Katarina, but when they like overextended like that, they have been trapped, and they're also being slowed. Is there any way to freedom for them? Well, we have Screamers of Tzeentch. We also have some blue horrors and Furies coming over to try to support, and they're actually turning to fight this right now and doing big damage. Maybe not the worst idea to stay and kind of continue to fight here, as the rest of the Tzeentch forces are driving back the light war sleds with so much aggression on Objective 2. More Furies are being summoned. Objective 3 is about to be capped by Tzeentch. No one else has capped an objective yet. The fighting has been too fierce, too ferocious, and no one's been able to really focus on objectives. Wing Lancers going to be going down. Nice counterplay so far by Turin, coming in with the Fury summons, and oh, that is so nice. Look at this. The big birds managed to actually escape their ensnarement, and Katarina is looking very much worse for wear. The Leopard is hounding, though, the Exotic Lords, which is a nice play. Going to stop them getting off the ground there. We're about to see a lovely little big old beam come in there. Did some nice damage to the blue horrors, though Objective 2 is going to start turning in the red favor of Tzeentch. And it looks like the Exotic Lord of Change can't get away from this pesky Snow Leopard and up into the skies. Now Winged Lancers are going to approach this. Pretty rough situation for the lordship there of Turin. However, the Winged Lancers are getting dragged down, and damage value-wise, Turin is quite considerably behind. Chaos Furies and Screamers, though, will overwhelm the Winged Lancers. He is ahead on tickets, which is good news for him. Spawn of Tzeentch, you know, looking quite beat up at the moment, and the Patriarch having quite a whale of a time. Light War Sleds have been kept well and truly alive. Quite dominant play here by Inticity with them. Furies do bound over and just try to support the Exotic Lord of Change, and the basic Lord of Change, you probably want to get the hell out of here and escape back up into the skies. Lil Grom is a fun inclusion. He's up to 38 kills, done pretty decent work, been impressed by him. Objective 2 is still currently securely in the hands of Tzeentch. Objective 1 going to Inticity, Objective 3 to Turin. More Forsaken and Blue Horrors are on the warpath. Now, the Exotic Lord of Change does get back into the skies, and no healing for him today, which is a little bit rough. He will, of course, have his shields, and he goes, swoops back in aggressive play once more, trying to hunt down that Snow Leopard, and his other Lord of Change doing a decent job here. Where is Katarina? Did she die? She might have been pulled back by Inticity, in fairness, if she was looking really weak. Or maybe she's completely dead. I'm not entirely sure there. The two big boys are able to snipe out the Snow Leopard. Good play so far by Tzeentch. I would say, though they're behind on the damage value, the early stage hasn't really gone that bad for them. They're doing good damage to the Winged Lancers. The Light War Sleds are very problematic, but the objectives are certainly looking good for Turin. And now he can just summon in a lot of Flyers and Screamers and force off the War Sleds. Now that he has a little bit of a cushion, the 950 roughly ticket advantage. It looks like some more reinforcements have arrived. We have some dervishes. The Exotic Lord of Change gets up into the sky once more. Likewise does the basic Lord of Change. I love this combo. Blue Horrors about to get yeeted. In come the Winged Lancers. Lancers lowered, slamming into the Blue Horrors, sending them flying. You can see shields popping all around them. It does mean they're relatively decent at absorbing charges, I've noticed, Tzeentch in general, because of that shield bonus. Winged Lancers are currently on fire. That's not really where they want to be. It's very rock and roll, but being on fire kind of sucks when you're fighting. Forsaken will be moving up, helping to secure Objective 2. We are going to see some dervishes actually getting a little aggressive here from Antisti. I like this quite a lot, and I don't think Turin's noticed it. Furies need to countercharge these guys. Otherwise, these Blue Horrors are going to get run the hell over, though there is an Exiled Lord of Change on the way back. He's looking very low HP-wise, which is very problematic for him. He may die here. The War Sleds. No, keep pushing War Sleds. He's so low HP, 1,300. Maybe he will get assassinated, much like our beloved Catalina did as well. Patriarch seems to be going down. He is terrified. Do not blame him. No amount of praying into the Bear God shall save you from the mighty Flying Duck. War Sleds do slam in. Fury as well doing some pretty decent damage. Forsaken in the middle. And again, a pretty decent lead, but the middle objective is starting to turn back to the favor of the mighty Kislev. Lovely use of the Pink Flame. Going for the Cossars, doing some decent damage. Blue Horrors are holding against the dervishes relatively well. Screamers are coming back, and it looks like the bird doth die, and it fell into the lava. How thematic. So both these guys have lost their lords so far, and now that damage is really starting to pay dividends. Despite having the objectives, Turin seems to be quite behind in the game now, having 10 units against 13 on the field. Lord of Change is still floating around, up to no good. Likewise is a little Grom, and Kislev can well and truly dominate the middle now. The Light War Sleds have been very problematic all game. Fantastic micromanagement on them as well by Antisti, ensures they've stayed alive, and Chaos Furies just hunting them down where possible. We also have some Screamers of Tzeentch just poking out the dervishes, going, look at the party going on by the Furies. They're kind of like going, oosh, 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 as they're trying to land on top of units, unfortunately, rather than coming into them there, which is a bit of a problem with the flying units. They'll get there eventually, but it'll take them a while. Screamers have been summoned. The central objective is now just turned in favor of Kislev, but we still have a dominant point lead so far by Turin. He will have to cap it back. He can't just sit on one objective. And in fact, it looks like he's about to get triple capped here, as dervishes are helping to finish off a unit of Blue Horrors. And this is some pretty aggressive play coming by Antisti, and I think the momentum is well and truly in his favor at the moment. Lord Change doing some decent job. He is popping at some of those Light War Sleds with his 360 shooting there. I love the little Grom pick. Little Grom, people thought was going to be a meme, but it's currently up to an impressive 1,153 damage value. Plenty of ammo left in the tank. And the Snow Leopard's about to get jumped by the Lord of Change. Very good at just taking down these kind of squishy single entities. We have Spawn of Tzeentch in the middle, and lots of shots, though, which can finish them off, can be quite nasty for them. And likewise, Little Grom is focusing down at the Spawn rather effectively. As far as supplies, Turin has a little bit more than anticipated, nothing too crazy. Objective 3 is starting to be capped here by the forces of Ent, but I'm not sure he's going to succeed there. Screamers trying to finish off the Winged Lancers with the Blue Horrors. We also have more Furies coming over, so this objective probably will stay, I'd argue, in favor of Tzeentch. Though there is more armored Cossars moving up. Lord Change may have to pull back and defend that objective. Over on the side here, the dervishes are going to go down to the Blue Horrors, who perhaps want to do a bit of a long-range expedition over to Objective 1. In the middle, though, it is all Kislev, and he's set up archers on the high ground here to pour shots down to anything that wants to contest Objective 2. Little Grom moves up. We have armored Cossars on the approach, as well as the War Sleds in the middle, and it's looking pretty good in the mid-game here for Antisti. A very shaky but close game for both players in the start here, and the late game, yeah, looking pretty good for Ent so far. He may well get the triple cap here. And when the Cossars moving in, you can see Turin attempted to stop them getting onto the objective and keep them at bay. And we do have some lovely magic coming in. He really does not want to get triple capped right now. It would be a little bit of a disaster and perhaps too hard to come back from, because he's probably got, you know, hold this objective, save up your funds, and go for that one big push in kind of like the 3/4 way through the game, and he's still definitely game on. And it looks like he is going to hold this objective just about. Snow Leopard goes down, Winged Lancers are faltering and falling, and loads of Furies coming in. It's getting quite tough here for Kislev to continue to apply that pressure. We do have Streltsy being summoned. I love Streltsy so much. Armored Corsairs on the approach as well, and just everywhere you go, everywhere you look, you'll see some Kislev War Sleds bounding around doing some damage. Now, the Chaos Furies are going to swarm down onto the Light War Sleds, doing some pretty decent damage, so this push may work for Turin onto this objective. It'd be very hard to cap it quickly, though. Snow Leopard is on the way back, and the people were trying to tell me I was bugging about Snow Leopards being good. They are so awesome, very quick, fantastic taking out single entities, and good at capping and just being a pain in the butt. A lot of change is flying away here. Furies and Screamers are attempting to pin in the Armored Corsairs, but we may well get a triple cap coming. 2 Blue Horrors are being brought onto the objective to help secure it, which is good news. It certainly needed to happen. Turin did have quite a dominant lead as well on tickets, so him suffering right now, it's not the end of the world. Like, he's kind of built up that good advantage at the early game to have the potential for a comeback himself in the late game. Snow Leopard takes a load of damage, could start to go down here pretty quickly. The Blue Horrors are lighting up the Patriarch, who was summoned for a second time, I believe. He took some initial big beatings, and his objective is starting to go all for Kislev. There is an attempted push on Objective 1, coming in by the force of Tzeentch. We have Furies, we have Screamers, and Blue Horrors. Only the Blue Horrors can cap here, so it is imperative, it's so important they make it to Objective 1. If they don't, and the other units to survive, it doesn't matter. And it looks like Tissi knows this, with Dervishes being sent over there to help contest as much as possible. Objective 3 is looking pretty good so far still for Intisity, with the Armored Corsairs being moved in. The Lord of Change is trying his heart out here. Blue Horrors, though, simply not enough, it seems, to deal with the might of Kislev. And oh baby, it is a triple cap for the forces of Kislev. Still behind on the tickets, but not for long. We have Streltsy in the middle with Little Grom, just working as a nice fire base. And it looks like Turin has managed to just about get those Blue Horrors onto the objective, but at what cost? The Screamers and Chaos Furies did a decent job. They should be able to drag down the Dervishes. Blue Horrors should be able to overwhelm the Corsairs, you would think, but there is also a Snow Leopard in here, which is problematic. War Sleds went down, but everywhere you look, there's just more of them. War Sleds coming out of every orifice at the moment for the Tzeentch. More like War Sleds will be capping Objective 1. In the middle, Little Grom is looking nice and tanky. Blue Horrors going toe-to-toe with Streltsy. It looks like Turin's going to attempt a cheeky mid-push. Forsaken being summoned and Furies. Elsewhere, though, is Lord of Change being hunted down. The Patriarch. This is in the name of Urson and Kislev, Die Demon of Horror, hacking and pulling off feathers and chunks of gooey blood as Lord of Change starts to go down here, and you can see he is exhausted, unstable, and going to be falling before the might of the mighty Intisity. Armored Corsairs doing a decent job capturing Objective 3. A big push coming by Turin on Objective 2. We have Furies, we have Blue Horrors, we have Forsaken, everything pouring into that mid-objective. Objective 1, it was a cheeky push. It was not, alas, quite enough, and Intisity now does have a relatively dominant lead on tickets, 4,000 to 3,300. Streltsy, I just love them as a unit, very tanky in melee for being such powerful damage dealers in range. Forsaken, Furies, and Blue Horrors should be enough, though, to drag them down. You can see they're kind of standing on blood and death, and it's not a good day for them whatsoever. It looks like they shall be faltering. Chaos Furies are doing nice work as well, just hunting down chariots and so on. Patriarch in the middle is going to heal up Little Grom as well as the infantry corps. It's a triple cap, and I'm afraid I just don't see any way back in for this for Turin. A very hotly contested game, very good stuff. Nothing like the game before, which was a little bit more like one-sided. It was much more like the first 2 games, and I think Intisity has really found his mojo back, and I know what this is like. I had a tournament against Intisity, and I know on the back ropes in the early games, and when he comes back and gets his momentum up, it's so hard to stop him. Furies are pinning a lot of units, but the mid-objective, yeah, is definitely going to be staying for Kislev here. And even this objective on the side, it's the home objective for Tzeentch, and they just can't cap it. And it looks like Kislev shall indeed be victorious there. GG is well played. We are going to the final game. Poor Ducky. Oh no, what's happening? What's happening? Instant fried chicken? Oh, for sure. It was an epic death, though. Is Nakaru the Exiled Keeper of Secrets better? Depends on the situation. Most situations, I prefer the Exiled Keeper, personally. The way the meta's developing, it's starting to please you and you're liking it? Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So, well played to both these players. It will be going for the final game. Katarina got slapped. Just beat up early doors, but got some nice spells off regardless. 1.2k on Little Grom's nice. 640 on the Patriarch. War Sleds, 1.4, 1.5, 1.5 value. Oh, it's so disgusting. Polar Bears, unfortunately, were never summoned. Wing Lancers didn't get the best value. The Streltsy were very cool. 49 kills, 700 value. I love the Snow Leopard play. Not the best value on them. 900 damage value is good on one unit, but just very swift, very mobile, pain in the butt for you. And look at this, Corsairs getting 1.2k value. Impressive stuff. I do like this Stein army coming in from turn. I think it's got a lot of teeth. 3.3k value on the Lord of Change. His micro of the big birds was pretty damn beautiful. 1.6 on the Exiled Lord. Unfortunately, fall into the lava there in his kind of doom. The Spawn just, yeah, kind of dealt with relatively well there by Anticity. Just some fantastic discipline with his War Sleds. Screamer play, 1.6k, 800. The Furies, 1.4 damage value, 1.1 damage value. Decent work across the board damage-wise from Turin, but alas, wasn't quite able to hold on and kind of, keep going up against the Mighty Anticity in the end. There's a good chance we're going to get Khorne here, but there's going to be a lot of mind games, so there might go something that can counter Khorne a little bit. Just go Ogres and spam Gorges instant win. It is powerful. Gorges are very powerful. They're not like the most powerful in the game, though, honestly. They're not even the most powerful on the Ogre roster. They are good, though. We're going back to Broken Leg Gully. Back to the Broken Leg Gully. It was the first map, and we're going to the last one. Hope you guys appreciate it. I've missed an hour of my D&D session for you boys. It's all good. I let them know anyway. But hope you guys are enjoying the stream. It's been a load of fun. It's been so much fun. The support on Warhammer 3 has been huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. Let's check out what these guys are saying. GG, well played. Yeah, we're back on Broken Leg. So, loving the set, lads. Games so far. This map's actually good for Cathay, by the way. So we may see Cathay. It's more likely to come from Anticity. Mm-hmm. Go. Looks like the guys are good to go. Oh! Anticity, the chattiest of chads, whipping out ground for Cathay up against Turin's Khorne. This is a very bad matchup for Cathay. Very bad matchup for Cathay, I think, personally. What do I play in D&D? I am in, I have, a setting that I do, online, and then when I do in person. So, in person, I am a gnome sorcerer of wild magic, which basically means I'm a nutcase. And in the other online one, I'm a gnome again. I don't know why it was me and gnomes. I'm a gnome paladin of death, which is kind of hilarious. We're running out of factions to play. I know, the guys are running out. I love the Khorne pick, though. I'm surprised Anticity didn't go Khorne. But he does like Grand Cathay, and on all maps, Broken Leg Gully maybe... Man, Broken Leg Gully and Death Pass, probably, the two best maps for Cathay, because their Grand Cannons can do a number. So, let's quickly, before the guys start the game, change the scoreboard. It is 2-0. Oh, no, 2-0, sorry. Between these champs. It's been such a good set of games. Thank you so much, by the way, for Turin, Anticity, Logic, and Samurai for agreeing to play on stream today. It's been an absolute blast. Loved having these guys here. And also, I really appreciate, all the support we've had so far for the charity stream. If you guys do want to donate, there's a link down below. There's also been links, all day long, through the chat and so on. You can pay, particularly if you're in Britain, it's easy to pay via there. Seems like other people are having a few troubles. If you are on your PayPal, just send it to me via PayPal. Just big titles, put charity, and I'll send it on afterwards, and I'll use my PayPal to pay for it, basically. Yeah, feel free to leave a message as well down below. So the charity we are supporting is Macmillan's Cancer Support Team, who help support people recover mentally and physically from cancer. And a dear family friend of mine did unfortunately have to go through that last year, but was lucky enough to have them there to support her and was able to come back. And has actually been training. It's absolutely mad. Normally, if you had cancer, you think you'd take it easy for a couple of years and build yourself back up. But she's gone straight into just training hard. And it's going to be running a half marathon at the end of this month. So, yeah, there's a link down below if you'd like to support that and in turn also support her. You can leave a message there. Feel free just to say quack. Because I think it'd be kind of funny if she gets, quack popped on on all these messages. Tzeentch usually beats Kislev, but they've lost twice today. The Kislev plays, I think it's not the worst matchup in the world for Kislev. The Sleds are quite a nice counter to a lot of the blue and pink horror spam, but it's a tough fight for sure. Both Kislev players had to play absolutely out of their gut. Skill over faction? Yeah, skill over faction does tend to be quite useful. They've not quite gone for all the factions, no. No. Anticity still had Khorne, Turin still had Cathay, I think Anticity still had Nurgle as well. Yeah, these games have been crazy. This is the best stuff I've cast so far in Warhammer 3. Milk for the cornflakes, 100%. The Sleds counter the entire roster. Sleds are so freaking good. They're so freaking good. I love the sleds. I mean, the Screamers and Furies, right, can, like, punch back, but it's still pretty tough. What old races, Empire House E-Tech, do you think will be bad in Warhammer 3 races? I may do a video on it. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. So let's delve into this. So, in Tisty, the Cafe Master, he used to bring Miao Ying a lot with the Double Terracotta Sentinel. It seems like that's become expected, so he's kind of falled back from it a bit. But we still have the Double Terracotta Sentinel with some Peasant, Triple Gold Chevron Peasant Long Spin. I've seen Tisty likes to chevron up his cheap units to cap objectives effectively. We have some Longmar Riders in the skies, as well as a Dragon-Blooded Shugenlingen Lord, I butchered that, of Yang Magic. Coming in with some powerful abilities, Jade Shield, and as well as the Constellation of the Dragon, very good at taking down big blocks of infantry, and the Might of Heaven and Earth. For Turin's forces, he's got a Sky Lord, so this could be a little problematic for him. I would actually probably put this Lord on the ground. Because I don't want to get bogged down by Longmar Riders, but we do have an Exotic Bloodthirster up in the skies. We have double Bloodletters of Khorne, very interesting pick, with 2 Cultists of Khorne as well with their Bloodletter summons. These guys are pretty rapid, armor piercing, so they're very good up against Jade Warriors. I like this quite a lot. They're very susceptible to bow fire, but if you're not expecting it in the early game from Cathay, then, you know, you can dominate in the early game instead. Chaos Warriors of Khorne, moving up to Objective 1, is going to be quite a nice play as well. And, yeah, let's get it cracking. Oh, look at this. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hopefully the players don't see that. That's kind of cool that that's been popped up there. We have pings up there as well. Unit browsers. Oh, I need to check all this stuff out. I like the playlist as well, telling you how much resources they have and units on the field and so on. Who's your money on, lads? Who's your money on, lads? Blood for the Blood God, baby? Or Cathay for the Cathay Gods, baby? Blood versus Dragons. Should be good fun. Who do you think is going to win? It's been a very tight set so far. Turn took a 2-0 advantage, and Tisty has scrapped back. All the games have been pretty hotly contested, so I'm excited to see how this one does indeed fare. Coldest moving up, Bloodletter's moving up, as well as the Exotic Bloodthirster decides to land in the worst place for us to cast. Look at this snow. It's just invisible. The sun beaming off there, and, you know, doesn't want to get into fights with the Longmar Riders too early on, and I think this is a good play by Turn. Just land the Exotic Bloodthirster, use it on the ground. The Castle Warriors Khorne Halberds move up to Objective 1. They need to be careful. There could be some big boom attacks coming in from the enemy Lord. And looks like Terracotta Sentinel is going to be going for that kind of mid-objective. Interesting play here by the Bloodthirsters to go for the enemy home objective. It can be quite hard to catch that, but it may be just an idea to then loop back down onto Objective 2. I hear some summons. It is Chaos Warriors of Khorne with Halberds coming from the back. And Tisty is not going to engage the Longmar Riders, of course, or the Dragon-Blooded Lord. It makes no sense. So the Exotic Bloodthirster, as well as the Cold, is going to be rotating back around again, away from the Terracotta Sentinels, and maybe start pushing up into Objective 2. Objective 1 will be claimed by the Chaos Warriors with Halberds, which is nice to see. And yeah, Turn just going to be rotating his forces back towards the middle, which is 100% a good play. 100% a good play. Bloodletters of Khorne doing a good job as well, just, you know, keeping all this forces occupied and then just waiting. They got a lot more speed. Can push this way or can push mid. Terracotta Sentinels, if this was Scarbrown, would get absolutely slapped up. Then they can hold the line for a decent amount of time against the Bloodthirster. And I would love to see a single cannon being brought at some point by Cathay, just to lace down the middle. I think it's better against Kislev and Ogres than it is against Demon factions, because Furies are a pain in the butt. But if you have Longmar Riders floating around and the Micro of Anticity, it can still certainly work. So both Bloodletters seem to be pushing up towards Objective number 3. The Exotic Lord got up into the sky. He's actually going to fly down towards his Halberds and most likely land, which I think would be a smart play. We have more Halberds as well coming in to the battlefield. And yeah, the Exotic Bloodthirster is... Oh, look at that. Beautiful land in there, down to his Halberds. Hey, you still want to come mess with me? You still want to come fight me, Longmar Riders? I did not think so. A breath of anger there, kind of furry rage coming from the Bloodletter. But now that we've got a problem. The Bloodletters are isolated and alone, and we could see the mobility of Anticity, bringing the Longmar Riders over to get some decent cycle charging. Bloodletters will rip and tear them to shreds in sustained combat, but if you cycle charge, it can be pretty naughty indeed. We also have the Jade Shield go down, giving that damage resistance, which I like quite a bit. Flesh Hounds of Khorne being summoned by Turin to help counter this. Bloodletter's taking considerable damage, though, on the approach to the enemy home objective. Terracotta Sentinels retreating away from the Halberds, which is probably the wisest decision they've done all day. The Exotic Bloodthirster is going to be pulling back just away from the double Terracotta. Doesn't want to fight them 2v1 here. We do have some Peasant Archers being summoned as well by Anticity. A nice counter to the Bloodletters. He needs to make sure he doesn't get pinned down on the ground here, though. We have Flesh Hounds as an attempt to pin the Longmar Riders and allow the Bloodletters to drag down the mighty cavalry. They've not taken huge casualties, but they're starting to add up pretty fast. We also have the Cultists of Khorne being in the mix, and with the Constellation of the Dragon being popped, looks like it was in fact cancelled for a Jade Shield instead going down. Not a bad play. He does manage to get rid of the Flesh Hounds. Damage value-wise is close. Turns just about ahead here. Longbow Riders take significant damage, unfortunately for them. It has bought time, though, for some Peasant Archers to get on the field. And, you know, they can apply a decent amount of pressure to the Bloodletters of Khorne. Middle objective is going to be a scrap. We have Flesh Hounds starting to apply a bit of speed to the build. It does seem like we have the Deathbringer on the Exiled Bloodthirster, and he's just smacking the living crap out of this Terracotta Sentinel, even in the 2v1. Bellowing in rage there, just going for the kill. Constellation of Dragon's going to come down, though, on these halberds. I don't know if Tyrion spotted this yet. He does need to pull back because this is going to be really nasty damage. And it may catch the Hounds as well. Oh, my God. That is some damage. Look at that damage value catching up very quickly there for Inticity. With the halberds in here in the mid, it looks like the objective is currently held by Grand Cathay, but I don't know for how long. Bloodthirster is deciding to retreat back, and we do have some Ironheld Gunners being summoned. Objective 3 is now starting to be taken by Khorne. We have Bloodletters on the warpath. Peasant Archers could easily be swarmed here, and the Longbow Riders consistently getting forced off. Nice pressure with them, though, all game long so far by Inticity. We also have Triple Gold Chevron Jade Warriors moving up for that objective. Objective 1 is just all Turins. And he's actually going to go a little aggressive, though. Get the halberds and start moving down to the mid. One Terracotta Sentinel is nearly down. Chaos Warriors of halberds push into the middle. Peasant Longspearmen and Jade Warriors, though, come up to help out. I would love to see these Flesh Hounds do a little cheeky flank go around and hop on top of the Ironheld Gunners. The opponent's objective, though, the Cathay one, is currently getting taken quicker and quicker by the forces of Khorne. They've got a lot of Bloodletters on the objective. I'm assuming one of these, at least, is a summon. Peasant Archer's taking a lot of damage. You can see the damage value all over is now getting more and more in favor of Tyrion, as he's getting some quite favorable engagements. And, oh no, the Dragonblind Lord's been trapped. Trapped by Bloodletters. This could be a disaster. Of course, a Constellation of Dragon coming down would be nice. Come on, escape. It looks like nice play by Inticity. Coming in the Great Longbow Riders to allow his Lord to escape is very smart. Unfortunately, Ironheld Gunners, they didn't come in with the carry sport quick enough, and the Flesh Hounds are feasting upon them. We have Peasant Horsemen coming in, but likewise Furies. It'll be a good fight for Khorne here in the middle. Terracotta Sentinels are trying their best. It looks like one, unfortunately, does crumble. Kind of a little nod to itself, like, no. Exiled Bloodthirster is now going to wail on the other Terracotta, and not having Miao Ying to hold them up, I think, is maybe going to be quite bad here for Inticity. I do still like the pick here of the Dragon-Blooded Lord for this ability, and look at this, just bam, and it's a lot cheaper than bringing Miao Ying, but I think Miao Ying, plus in a Dragon mode, plus her air effect like damage dealer Vortex might be worth bringing more, but you know, Inticity's a far better Cathay player than me, so you know, who am I to say? Exiled Bloodthirster is getting in there, snapping up the Terracotta Sentinel. It gets a Jade Shield on it. Some cool animations coming in from both these guys, fighting over the corpse of their fallen brethren, slicing at the Bloodthirster, who tries to gain the high ground. The Terracotta Sentinel is going to be going down here. Tyrion looking at pretty dominant, but Inticity comes in with a massive air force, and he has captured his home objective, which is good to see. Only one cultist does remain over there. Got Peasants over there, Jade Warriors. Damage value-wise, though, Tyrion is currently outscoring the forces of Cathay quite heavily. The Bloodletters were a nice pick. We still have a decent amount of halberds as well situated on the objective, and the Exiled Bloodthirster has been very impressed with the micromanagement of Tyrion, keeping this bad boy alive and active as long as he has. The Cultist of Khorne doing decent damage up against Peasant Horsemen. The Jade Warrior is getting jumped now by the Bloodthirster. Yes, he is a beast at killing single entities, but he's also pretty good at just driving his way through enemy chaff. Up to only 4 kills, though, and the Longbow Riders will start to surround him. Halberds and Bloodletters are going to have to push out to attempt to support. Neither of these guys are really stacking too many supplies. They're chucking it all on the line here. You can see we have more Bloodletters starting to approach in, and another unit of Bloodletters just holding down Objective 1, just ensuring that no light cavalry or anything can come over here and really mess it up. I do like the play, though, coming by Inticity. So how's he going to get back into this game? He's certainly not winning the melee fight. Triple Ironheld Gunners. It's very risky. He needs to protect them, and he's only got so many Longbow Riders to do so. He's still got the micromanagement to be able to pull this type of thing off, but I would also, I don't know, it's pretty scary. If we get some hounds on the field, these guys could just die instantly. Having overarching lapse of fire, though, does mean they can kind of protect each other quite nicely. The Dragon-Blooded Lord thought she was an actual dragon and could take on a mighty Bloodthirster. She was wrong, and we've fallen back here, but look at the damage coming in. The double Ironheld Gunners, one volley, just taking chunks out of this Bloodthirster, but now, yeah, Bloodletters are simply going to push, get nice and aggressive with the Cultist of Khorne, and start shutting down the range there of Cathay. We also have the cheap Chaos Warhounds starting to flood in, and it seems like whatever Inticity does, Tyrion seems to have answers for it. Playing very good with his decision-making so far. Bloodletter's still vibing on objective 1. We've got a few units of peasant archers can fire down off this ridge, which I think would be a nice play, but never given Intensity any time to rest. We have Flesh Hounds moving up this left-hand side, dragging down Longmar Riders, and also applying constant pressure to objective number 3. Middle fight is going very scary, unfortunately, I think, for Cathay. Warhounds popped on top of the Iron Hell Gunners, who are being supported by the other Iron Hell Gunners now, who did some really nice damage. They've got so much potential, but protecting them is very hard. We have Jade Warriors moving up to help support, as well as some Peasant Archers. Warhounds have been forced off now, but there's the Bloodletters to contest with. Cultists of Khorne, very pesky unit, has shut down the other unit of Iron Hell Gunners. And look at these guys go. They're so just gleefully joyful. The slice, hack, and rend. Blood for the blood god. So much damage. I love it. Iron Hell Gunners are really suffering quite badly. More Iron Hell Gunners are applying pressure to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, doing some decent damage there. The other infantry is contesting objective 2 relatively safely. Longmar Riders attempting to pull back, but a dominant lead on tickets now for Turin. Likewise, a dominant gold damage value. My god, 8,000 just about to 12,000 damage value. This is looking pretty rough for Cathay, sadly. Cultist is doing good work against the Jade Warriors. The Exiled Bloodthirst has hopped on top of them. Bloodletters are also chewing through the infantry. And look at this Hound dominance. Flesh Hounds of Khorne floated down onto objective 3. And I think this is a pretty rough matchup for Cathay in general. And it looks like Khorne were victorious. Of course, Cathay not being the strongest faction, also getting into a bad matchup is tough, but it's Intisity. Like, Intisity is one of those guys who can pull it out of the bag. But Turin shall be the winner of today's tournament, coming in and performing fantastically. Well played to Intisity as well, though. He really did scrap hard here, taking the series all the way to the 5th game. We had some of the best games I've ever seen of Total War Warhammer by these two players. Really great work by both these lads. 800 value from the Dragon-Blooded Lord. Only 520 and 800 though from the Terracotta Sentinels, but they're mainly used to, you know, hold objectives and cap them and so forth. You still expect a little bit more damage from them. Longmar Riders 750, 300 on the basic unit. The other Longmars 1.1k, 500 value. I don't think anything else is going to get anything of kind of note or anything particularly amazing here. Iron Hell Gunners 540, 370, 100 value there. Just weren't able to fire long enough. The micromanagement all day from both these players has been top-notch, but something I've been really impressed with from Turin in general is protecting his lords, and the Exiled Bloodthirster just, you know, outmatching the air, don't care. Gonna land and walk through a load of halberds. 2.6k gold value on him, 47 kills. The Cultists of Khorne did a decent job, 720 and 870 value on them. Love the Bloodletter play, 700 value, 940. Decent on the infantry as well. Fortunately, we didn't get to see anything too fancy, no Skull Crushers. 1,200 value on this unit of halberds, 1,000 on the other. Flesh Hounds 1k value, 800 value. Really lovely pressure throughout, and it was a glorious victory for the forces of Khorne. So let's quickly say, let's update the score. It is 3-2 to the mighty man, the myth, the legend himself. Turin, well played to Intisity though, champ. You put on a fantastic set of games. And it couldn't have been much closer. Once again, everyone playing today is a content creator. I'm sure you guys have heard of Turin and Intisity, Logic, and Samurai Warrior. But if you haven't, feel free to go check them out. And that has been a crazy set of games. Very well played. Let me quickly drop a GG in the chat to them, as I then chat with you guys. GG, well played. Well done on some fantastic games. Turin says, it seems we both had our suffering matches. You versus with my Nurgle and me versus your Cathay. Yeah, 2 of them had like tough matches, and all the rest were like really close. So amazing work by both these guys. Very impressed with all what they did today. So, oh guys, I love you so much. I love you so much. We're so close to the goal. We've got up to 92%. I can see so many supporting messages. I've just looked on the charity thing today. Ian says quack. Anonymous says quack. We have another quack. We have an angry quacker saying quack. We have another angry duck saying quack. We have more quacks. Oh my god, there's so many donations. This is insane. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. If you do want to support the charity at the end of the stream and, you know, celebrate all the great work these guys did today on stream for you, there is a link down below. Feel free to do that. If you can't do that, please do, yeah, and you want to support anyway, and the website's not letting you send the money, just get in contact with me and we'll get it sorted out. That is my favorite stream I've ever done. I think, or my favorite games I've ever had on stream. I think those are my favorite games I've ever had on stream. That was so good. It's so good. It's not real Undivided without Archie, of course. any units blatantly OP like Razor Gods were, yeah, the two units, the unit I think is the most overpowered in the game is the Iron Blaster, and the best spell is Pendulum. I think those are the two things which are, to me, need, like, you know, seen too early on type thing. Everything else is, like, really good. There's lots of other good stuff. Flesh Hounds, Gorges, but it's manageable. It's manageable. Great games indeed. Excellent games. Thank you guys so much. Massive shout out as well for, I know Tisti and Turin and Logic and Samurai are very busy at the moment making content for Warhammer 3, so thank you guys so much for coming over and fighting for a good cause. It was not in vain. We raised a lot of money. We're actually pushing on towards their main goal, which is lovely to see, and I appreciate everyone who donated today, appreciate everyone who watched today. It has been a bucket ton of fun. I probably won't drop a video. I was very tired this morning, so I didn't unfortunately be able to make a video today. I've got one for tomorrow, don't worry. I won't be around tomorrow, unfortunately, on Discord or anything to play games against you guys. I really wanted to be there. I've got a little bit of surgery, so I'm going to be out for the day, but for the couple of days after that, I'll be around a lot more, and I'm definitely going to start hosting some tournaments, probably after the weekend. I know Turin's hosting some, I know Dar's hosting some, so feel free to join the Discords, and we'll keep you updated with them, and I'll keep you updated as well with that website when it kind of gets released and stuff, where I think, hopefully, we'll be able to host all my tournaments in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed. You're all awesome. I love you very much. It's been a really good fun experience for me. And it is 3-2 to Turin, so massive shout out to him for being the champ of today's stream. What we're going to do quickly, before I go, if you're not tired of Warhammer content, feel free to check out my stuff. Awesome. We'll do. Well, I need to send a message to Turin quick. Sounds good. Cool. I accidentally said sales goof and so good. Sounds good. Yeah, so quickly before we go, if you guys have had not enough of Total War action, I do indeed have a load of videos out. Feel free to go check out that Domination, but let's go for a raid. So I'm going to go raid someone else who's streaming on currently YouTube. My god, we had so much support today. We're like out streaming a lot of people, which is kind of crazy. Like much people, like YouTubers. But let's go Total Warhammer 3. Let's go live. So what we do when I raid, guys, if you guys are new here, I like to go over to channels and we just demand bread and yell quack a lot. I think, let's find, it looks like no one's really playing multiplayer, sadly, right now. Let's go over to the Great Book of Grudges. A really lovely guy. He actually had some really kind words to say about me, like early on when I was very new to starting and so on. So let's go spread some love. Here's a link to his YouTube stream. He's currently streaming some awesome Kugath. Feel free to pop by and just yell quack over and over again. And demand bread. We know he has bread. We know he has it. He's hiding it from us. But here's a link to his channel. Feel free to go rate him. Yell quack. Let him know I sent him. Don't spam too much, but spam early on, obviously. And yeah. Oh, why is that going weird? I don't know. My YouTube chat's doing a weird thing. It's doing a weird thing. But thank you guys so much. It's really appreciated. I hope you guys enjoyed. Turin won. Yes, he did. Oh, Gojira. Sorry, man. You missed some crazy games. Make sure to go check it out. Rubber Duck with a heart of gold. Good stream, my dude. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Magnus, as well, coming in with the fat 500 SEK. I'll make sure that does go to the charity cause as well. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate you all. Let's go on a good fun raid. And until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.